Alright, just waiting on Lewis here. He's going to make a Zoom link. And we should be ready to get started. A lot to talk about today, it looks like. Hello, Lewis. Hello. How are you feeling today?
Really good.
Good.
Last couple of days have been a bit weird, mind you. Everything's just felt amplified. My emotions have been all over the place.
Oh, really? Like
Work was a bit, yeah.
Like clearing something, or?
Yeah, it's something I always kind of felt at work. I wasn't too sure what it was, but it's felt really, really amplified. So I've just really just been just trying to clear it, really. Just going to the elemental cleaning rooms every day and just, because I don't know what it was, to be honest. So
But the last couple days you've been alright? Yeah. Feels like it just caught up with me 2 days ago. It's like a freight train.
Okay, there we go. Change house. There we go.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so you saw the update today?
Yes, Tommy sent me it earlier. It was really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Not too sure what to make of it, but are we still planning on doing a live stream on Saturday? Will be early Sunday morning for me.
Okay. There's like 2 back-to-back updates, right? Like it was the councils, the new councils coming on, and then just today we got another update.
Yeah, same times. We might just be gearing up finishing KDDL. Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
I'll tell you what, though, it's quite interesting. Over probably the last week, I kind of learned something about getting a load of money back because I've been renting and whatnot. I'm gonna get like £500, £600, £700 back. So it seems like I have enough money now to get Shiftmasters free when it releases.
Oh, cool.
Just kind of goes back to prove that if you're meant to have it, you'll find the funds, really.
Right. I just had a shift with money also just today. I got a refund I wasn't expecting. And then I had a check in the mail yesterday for like $100, just kind of random.
Can't go wrong.
I always look at that as like quantum coming back too, because it's like a currency that you're a part of.
It really is.
Yeah, so I'm going to read the update just out loud here and just say what it says. It says the GA has explained that there is a big activation taking place this Saturday, June 2024. There is an intention to start the next live stream at this time. Meanwhile, E-LAi-sa is receiving important new transmissions that are just now off security clearance pertaining to this big activation on the 8th, and related information regarding the outpicturing cycles of August 2024 to August 2032. Wow, I didn't realize it was that long of a cycle. Column 4 on the chart, and a new chart.
I'm actually...
That goes to 2040, 2032 to 2040 is a new chart that she's working on. So is this the same August chart that we've been discussing about the firestorms outpicturing? Because 8 August 2024 to August 2032.
Yeah, I've got them somewhere. I'll see if I can share screen.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let me minimize this too.
Yep, found it.
Okay.
Sort the old picture entrance at 9. Yes, so that'll be the next one that she does. Will be 838 to 2032 to 2040.
Outpicture cycle means that we get to see what happens, basically, is my understanding. Erica Renee's asking, what do they mean by outpicture cycle? And welcome. You going to join the Zoom call, Erica? Oh, we need to post it in the chat here on Facebook, too.
Where are we posting it? Are we posting it directly into the...
Perspectives. Let's start with perspectives and kind of start slow today.
Okay.
All right. Because Eric is already on with this. Let's form a little shield here.
Right.
Yeah, there's just been a lot of rearranging going on for me the last couple of days. Actually, just yesterday. I had a KSer friend that came to visit, and it's always in person acoustics, like it's always high frequency stuff. And we're just like pinging off each other. Went to Garden of the Gods and some of the mountain areas out here yesterday. Had a really good conversation, but just I think it's a combination of that plus the activations. It's just like feels like a freight train just went by or something. What is your understanding of outpicturing, Lewis? Is it like, I mean, does it mean what it says to you, or what are you saying?
My understanding is that sort of cycles, so it takes 8 years. So if something goes into the grids, it normally takes at least 8 years for it to start out picturing. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like...
That's why it's 2032. So it's August of this year, and then to 2032 is 8 years. And
so anything that we see from 2024, so pretty much the activations from this year, we'll start to experience them in 2032.
Okay.
And then the updates that she's talking about in terms of outpicturing from 2032 to 2040, we'll start seeing those outpicturings from, I think, are you sure you are currently live in perspectives?
Yeah, you need to refresh it a couple times. I couldn't see it at first.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
this particular outpicturing pertains to the trumpets themselves. It's like, it's called the firestorm, and that's the trumpets, right? Is that your understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're actually going to see what the chevrons did in transmuting the trumpets, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like in real time starting in August.
So it's pretty much, so from November every year until May time, it's going to be absolutely chaotic. Then from May to November again, it's going to start, or it might be the other way around. I need to look at that chart. So
Yeah, let's
trumpets
pull the
come in
chart
from
up.
November,
Okay.
and then
Do you have
it
the
gets
chart?
transmuted until May.
Okay.
So from November to May, it'll get chaotic potentially. Then from May going into November, it'll start to slow down, I guess.
Well, all the trumpet and chevron stuff is done, and now August starts the outpicturing of the last 7 trumpets and all the chevrons too. So I think it's, oh, does it have peaks in May and November also? Welcome, Mateo.
I'm assuming so. Right.
Hey.
Would you be able to allow me to share screen?
Yes. Oh, do I need to do that? I thought I was just co-host on here. So do I still need to get privileges on here, or how does that work? Oh, multiple, okay, let me see.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's look at this chart and see. I didn't realize May and November would be also like peaks of it too. It makes sense that there would be like an imprint of those dates from the chevrons and the trumpets out picture. So we get to experience it in real time. Wow. How are you feeling, Mateo? You feeling any activations, any symptoms?
It's been good. Nothing in particular, but like my technique has been powerful. So yeah, pretty good.
Okay, so from the 8th to the 9th of November, the firestorm will start out picturing. Then from the 22nd to the 27th.
Okay. What are you
That will
getting from
mean-
these updates, Mateo? Just real quick. We were just discussing them, like the new councils and also the
Oh,
update just today.
I'm assuming there's like because last year I guess they call it mugs, like mission upgrade.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably like a new, mission upgrade, like new consoles coming in
Okay.
because of some new frequency or something, But yeah, and then like I guess they did talk about like the rainbow rings and like this rainbow river type situation too. So I've been like feeling that like that's kind of been my focus recently.
Did you feel anything in the way of the new councils coming on, like personally? Any type of upgrade or anything in your DNA?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, I
Oh.
guess like something I guess is an upgrade is that I've been like fooling around at that rainbow rings like transposition platform. So like that's kind of my upgrade, I guess, shooting my plasma body up and then pulling it in.
Yeah, we've got to talk about the rainbow transposition platforms. I'd like to know more about that.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear
Yeah.
like councils and upgrades, I'm just thinking it's going to impact people that are doing this work on the DNA level. Like the junk DNA is going to start kind of rumbling and wanting to wake up because the councils are all the councils and techniques and everything from my perception just symbolizes routes of passage to your own DNA activation. Like they're just assisting that passage for you. So there could be all kinds of symptoms and things that come with that as well.
Yeah, I guess like maybe like observing myself, I would just say it's like the just like being inclined to do new things. Like, I talked about it before, but like these rainbow plasms, like that's been a big focus on mine this past few weeks. And like, before I was going to the rainbow reservoir, but I guess now you go to the rainbow rings, like the third transition platform. So, and we'll see if that's like an emphasis. I'm not really sure, but she did say in that email, like rainbow ring platform. So,
Oh, okay. There was an email
We'll see
sent
what
out also
yeah.
describing more about it. Okay.
Like briefly, but yeah. We'll see, yeah. We'll see.
So we were
Maybe
just
that's
discussing,
activation to come.
like also there's
Right.
going to be peaks here, it looks like, from 20 in the months of November. Can you scroll back down? Let me see. 2024. So it looks like November 8th through the 9th. TJ1 Firestorm, which is Trumpet Jehovian, right? TJ Firestorm out picture. And so we're going to like relive the experience or something. Density 1. All of this is going to replay over the next 7 years. Is that right? Like seeing it in density 1 type.
It's already. So the energy would have already been cleared, but we'd start.
like that.
At least the collective will start seeing it.
They're cleared. Okay. Yeah, it has a happy ending to it. But we just get to watch all like what happened, I guess. It's so trippy to think about, like we're literally like 8 years behind in some way, our perception fields.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Parallel Earth also 8 years ahead, isn't it? So I don't know if
Is
that
it?
could have links into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we still got these dates are still significant then to look at. Like November is going to be one. But that's when the trumpets come in, and then May 22nd through 27th is our chevron burst.
Mm-hmm.
So November's going to be elections too, right? In the States.
Yeah. Crazy.
How convenient.
Yeah. God.
That's what she was saying, like with it kind of set off the first rounds of the trumpets was with the elections last time. Okay. What is Transcendence? 9 up above there on the chart. I haven't caught the very top.
Yeah. So Transcendence 9.
You guys know what that means? Sub-cycle 17.
I don't think so. Where is that on this chart? Oh, okay, on the top.
Wasn't like the Transcendence to do with the Crystal River failsafe host? Like various levels of it coming down. I guess we could, because we do have an older chart as well somewhere.
Okay.
So I don't know if it. I think it's. So if we go back.
I would like to revisit this part where she's actually explaining this. Do you know which session this was? It was one of the most recent ones, right? And this chart was presented.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might cue that up so we can just listen to her explain it again, because there's, I mean, we've got incoming here, right? Like all this is going to outpicture, and it'd be good to be prepared for some of the technicals on it.
Yeah, totally.
So there's 3 seeds.
But also good timing that new councils are coming in to assist. She always says, like, when the polarity starts to increase, which probably will with the elections. I'm thinking it's been, I don't know what, I mean, aside, there's a lot going on in Israel right now. It feels like things are kind of heating up there. I talked to my friend about it. I haven't kept updated with the news on Israel, but she was explaining how they're still attacking, you know, just tit for tat, just back and forth, and it's still going. So I would imagine, like, as the politics arena starts up here, they're gonna try to amp up the polarity again, like speed it up or something.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting that, I guess, well, the day that Trump got indicted, wasn't that like when the end pop was of the chevron or like the trumpet?
Oh wow.
I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure if that has any relevance, but
That's interesting. Yeah, I would imagine we'll see more alignments of, like, the 3D hologram linked in with this. So I've definitely been experiencing more on particular dates of things. December 8th, notably.
Totally, yeah. But yeah, I guess the deep state is as active as ever right now, so it'll be interesting to witness.
Yeah. Transmigrations. Wow, that's going to be fun. Get out of this mess. 2029. That's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
And scroll back down, Lewis. Let me see. I was seeing some other initials. What is SRW? We can scroll back up to towards the top. Maybe there was more. What is C5? Chevron 5, SRW 14.
Stellar. No, it won't be that. It'll be.
What would that be, Mateo? Do you know? SRW?
Not sure. Maybe solar ring. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure the W.
Oh, solar ring, maybe? The solar, what would be like Bardo ring?
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah. This is yeah, it'd be nice to, if we could find this area, KDDL3, it'd be nice to queue it up for later.
Do either of you guys have that on hand? I'm searching on my desktop right now too.
Yeah,
the
I do.
workshop? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, downloaded them.
Yeah, I've got them somewhere
Somewhat.
too, searching. Does it show
Probably
which session this is?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is from?
KDDL 3.
I'm gonna guess 2020 in 2022, but like the year.
Part
I
A,
don't know.
Part B, or Part C then. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Or download them for later then, but
Okay, I've got February 2022. Is that it? Around then?
I'm not sure, but I think it would be around then.
Okay, I've got. Let me start with 90 here and see.
I could look through it too.
Okay.
It's just like when she had like that like larger diagram type thing, and then she was like had all the dates and stuff, and like it might be from that.
I think it.
Yeah,
Three
it's with all the
octant
big
rounds,
charts. Let me
and
share
it shows
screen.
the prime mugs, the solar Bardo ring waves, it shows the 7 TJ
Alright.
versus 8 CB wave progressions. So this chart helps a lot of just keeping track of where we are, where we have been when we started in 2000, and how we progressed. So 2000 to 2007, then 2008 with that 2015.
So I think this is the lead up to the 8 breath one.
The reversed outgoing TJ wave through the transposition passages of the 3-domain passage set 27th and 29th is a Kathara electrical peak. Then we also have every August between the 12th and 15th is what's called a Hethalon. And
All right, so I'm seeing the word firestorms here also, but it's saying the onset of the 8-year firestorms. So this is like when they started on. I mean, would you guys call this like the encryption level, or because it's 8 years before when it started? And what she's about to explain here is what we're going to see.
downward flows of Earth's planetary top electrical Merkaba spiral.
Okay, so this is what has already happened, right? Is that how you understand it, Mateo? Like this already happened, what she's explaining?
Yeah, I guess like my understanding is that when the Chevron came in, I guess that was like a week ago, it was coming through the Emancipation Passage through Andromeda originally. Beyond Andromeda, but like, yeah. So the Emancipation Passage carried it and yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess like I think in August is when it starts to like settle. That's when it's associated with like the transposition passage. I think that's when it like anchors, and yeah, so it's like it got pulled in, and then I'm assuming in August then it'll anchor. My
Okay.
understanding.
And we've already had 7 cycles of these, so now what she's explaining, like in this chart, this has already occurred over the 7 cycles, like each time. And now all this is over, and now it's just going to outpicture for us to see in density 1. Okay. All right.
Through 15th annual peak spin speeds Hethalon magnetic peak.
And just to be clear, like this cycle doesn't normally occur during Hethalons and Hetharos. It's just like the past 7 years this has been going on. Like this isn't like normal Hethalon and Hetharos that we're experiencing right now. They're kind of more intensified with all this activity.
Definitely. I was thinking about because yeah, so in August, like she's saying, I guess the Chevron would begin its like cycle with the transposition passage. I'm saying outward and upward.
Yeah.
Into I'm not like I wonder what like upward really means, but my understanding is that it's like the transposition passage anchors it almost.
Okay. I need
instead
to
of
learn
bringing
more
it in.
about the transposition passage. You keep bringing it up. That's like KDDL 2 where that was introduced.
No, like the beginning of KDDL 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
We need to revisit that for sure. 'Cause it seems like a very relevant part of all this, and I don't have
yeah,
much
especially
understanding.
yeah, and a wind of breath and stuff too.
Yes.
But it's similar. It's similar to what she was saying about the Illuminaire and such. Like it's like the emancipation passage is like bringing the frequencies in, and the transposition is almost like settling it, or like I guess establishing it here.
Okay.
Um,
Kind of like the
Yeah, I wonder
name,
what
like
you-
emancipating and transpositioning.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But I wonder like outward and upward. I guess that means like it's maybe the chevron is then going upward into M33 triangle.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
Sounds right.
So if I understand this right, so the chevron anchor is on in May, but then it takes up to November time for all the trumpet to actually be, well, for the chevron to take over the trumpet and fully transmuted. At least that's what I'm seeing with this.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
That's my understanding of it too, is that it's like a cycle, and I kind of wonder, like towards the end of the completion, is that where things are most vulnerable, like right before the chevron kicks on, like right when is it fading out, or is it all transmuted right after the chevrons pop on? Because it's like waves through time. Do you remember that sideways triangle wave chart that she had of the TJs and the CDs? And showing the different.
Yeah, I was looking at that this morning actually.
Okay.
Right.
So it actually happens over time, like how it's not like a one burst thing and it's done. Like it kind of gradually, the wave goes like conclave, like an hourglass. It kind of dips in and then comes back out,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
It's
I
like
guess,
a
like,
car that doesn't have a brake on it. So you're having to have multiple cars going front at the back of it to slow it down, kind of thing.
yeah, because it's like transmuting it as it goes too, like all the particles, all the parts of it. Okay, I'll continue it.
Then is it
Or go ahead.
the trumpet that came in last November? I guess I could be wrong, but my understanding is that it was caught and I assume transmuted that this May, or maybe I know like it talks about like there's like the chevron will like catch the trumpet, and then there's like a lag in between it clearing it. I'm not really sure if it's like the chevron caught the trumpet this May, or if it's like it like finished its transmutation this May.
Was this the pop?
previous one in May would have been transmuted
Okay.
completely, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you said something about the pop that happened also in May. Was that this past May?
It might be next May.
It shows that on the chart also. Something about the pop.
Yeah.
We have a snap and a pop. The snap off
So
is
go
next
back.
May.
Let's have a look. So we've got 2025, so snap. So the chevron at M-pop will be 2025.
Okay. And that's the pop is the seed atom popping off, right? Or is that the snap? I'm getting the snaps and the pops mixed up.
So chevron A M-pop. But then
She describes it as like the happy bubble activation too, right? Like it's gonna fully activate the rainbow around the planet. I remember her explaining that part
Yes.
too, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So that
So Happy
Metatronic seed
Bubble
atom.
will outpicture in 2027, which will mean
Okay.
when does it actually activate then?
Where's the snap?
So
on
the
it?
AFP. So Trumpet 1 Firestorm outpicturing, Chevron it and Pop. Chevron 1 outpicture. So it'll be outpicture. So I'm assuming it'd be 2025 maybe, but Trumpet pulls free, didn't see it opens. Oh.
Yeah. The seed atom is still
think-
connected until next May. Almost feels like the real
Indeed.
outpicturing will be after that seed atom snaps off, that we'll start really seeing a lot. That's just a year away, less than a year. Man, it's been going by fast. We're already heading to July.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, barely keep up with it. On our way to Ethelon. Alright, I'll continue the video.
So that's what's supposed to be happening, and it should have happened ever since the first CB1 wave went, released, which was in May of 2017. By August of 2017, we should have had why we're able to use the FOI techniques.
Those Aquafereion seals, is that explain some of that in KDDL 2 about the red pulse that we just barely dodged? Do you remember that part in KDDL 2? It's like, what? Like where it would have just red pulsed everything on the planet, but the planet would have had safe passage through it. Do you remember that in KDDL 2?
I remember that. Yeah.
That was pretty intense. Like,
Uh-huh.
we're dodging a lot of stuff right now. And then we did
Yeah.
1,000-year leap from that. Like we needed to go 1,000 years in the future. I remember her saying that also.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're on a spaceship, just zooming all over the place right now. It's crazy.
Definitely.
Finally. So anyway, this is explaining that yes, we also have things happening on Ethelon now, but we've caught up with this 17. By August of 2017, we should have had FOI Flow 1 be pulled through and opening the transposition passage, but that didn't happen because of something called the Aquafereion seals.
Aquafereion seals, I don't recall that term. I'm just wondering if that's KDDL 2. I have to go back and check.
Yeah, I don't specifically recall too, but I think that's KDDL 3.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Does she say, is there like a written description on that page about that?
Yeah, let me rewind it here and see.
And they weren't opening the transposition speed Ethelon magnetic peak.
Okay, so let's see bottom.
So that's what's supposed to be happening, and it should have happened ever since the first CB1 wave went, released, which was in May of 2017.
She doesn't have that written out, the Aquafereion seals on here. She just mentions it.
Caught up with this now, so this is why we're able to use the FOI techniques.
Just a lot to catch up with, There's so much.
Finally.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is explaining that yes, we also have things happening on pulled down through it as the CB wave pulls the TG wave up and out, TJ wave up and out.
Does that explain what you were asking earlier? Up and out? Or you were talking about the location?
Yeah, but I guess in my understanding, the transition passage will like take the trumpet up and out.
Yeah. But it's bringing all of the quantum back into alignment too, is what she said. Like it brings it back to like our current host, I guess. Like it brings quantum back to what we're doing.
Yeah, I believe so.
That was
And
smart.
just saying that the FOI currents are coming in emancipation, which makes sense.
Mm.
It's like inward.
That's why things are going so fast. That's why, I mean, everybody's popping on, and Erica's connected with their future self and streaming. All these people, these themes are just here, you know, like everyone's arriving.
Yeah.
Even I even have a theory that the sleeper themes are wanting to wake up after some of the conversations I've been having, because there's like mental body that's not there, that kind of probably would be turned off if you were in a sleeper shield, but there's fundamental understanding about non-polarity and the Blue Lotus tether beam, and they're I feel them connected to it, but they just don't have the cognition of the technicals or the material, and they, you know, don't read Voyagers 2 and don't get it on that level. So it's like they're choosing kind of to stay asleep so that they can bridge, and they're working in other modalities and stuff too. Just incredible. It's like how fast all this is happening. Like there could be an in-between shield between the sleeper and the awake beam shields that are being developed right now. You know how fast it's going.
Yeah.
So it's like a pull via passages blend merging of the passages.
Transient window, is that the same window that we're working with in our anatomy, or is that a different window? She said the Earth's transient window. Like for
I'm
the
not sure. I think
Blue Lotus.
I think that I could be wrong. I think the transient window is correlated with the E-LAi Conservatory.
Okay.
Not certain, but
Okay.
Of the external heliotic planetary connection to the sphere of Mente.
Can you imagine the mechanics involved in this, just to relocate something in different space-time coordinate, but like the same planet or the same system? It's incredible.
Let's find this here. Alrighty, activation.
Was there more recent sessions after this? After the sessions?
yeah, there
9.
is the one last year around this time.
Okay. Is there more
Not sure.
charts, like mugs? Seems like she
I don't believe so, from what I remember. We could check though.
Okay. I've just got up to 9F that I'm locating right now. So we can kind of scan the recent ones, see if there's more updates from this time also.
So 11 of 2021, which was coming last shortly.
So spin down also implies that it's taking place through time. It's like just gradually being spun down, I guess.
That's when the C6 wave releases to go after the TJ6 wave.
It's good to have clarity on this, the timing of how this works, because we're about to see it out picture. So we'll kind of expect, okay, things are going to wind down around this date. There's going to be a lull on the dates that she's talking about. Because Lewis brought up those months of May and November are still going to be notable, like in our experiences for the next 7 years. Or 3 years. How long is the out picture? I think it's compacted.
8 years, isn't it?
Is it 8 years? Oh. All right. So this is like a good chart to have.
So this is just showing that staggering of the how first releases, that flow of the foils happening. But because the certain seals weren't open, they're called the Aquafereion key seals. They weren't open yet. We didn't get the foil flow.
There's the Aquafereion. It's on the chart if you can see it. Mateo.
Yeah,
So it's
I guess they're
PHA, Aquafereion keys.
I guess they're seals for the foil flows to come in.
Okay. So these activations already took place, so we'll be, I would imagine, like we would need to work with those foil flows during the 7 years as well. I mean, I think it would help, right? But if it's already happened and it's out picturing too, there's just all kinds of time mechanics involved in this to catch up with.
Yeah, definitely.
Activating in August
I
of
wonder what
2017.
what number of what, because there's like a, I guess it's an eight point flow. So this August, if that's like what number that is out of 8. I don't think it would be the 8th one, but it's possible. Maybe it is, but
Maybe it shows it on that chart that Lewis has also. We'll go back and revisit it.
yeah.
Here. So it was late. So here, they did not open until September of 2018.
Okay, so we had some things that popped on late. So during the outpicturing, it's gonna show that, right? It's gonna display the things that came on late too.
September 2 through 3, I believe, is when they started.
Looks like we got some comments here on the stream on perspectives from Shante. I'm being nudged to share the importance of taking into consideration heavily revisiting how the Crystal River dance, first dance of the last stand in Peru, May 2007, is in relation to the recent reclamation and reopening of the Anstatia, I can never pronounce it, Anstatia Passage. The Lunar Passage, established and opened in that workshop, is vastly overlooked because we rightly have reservations about relating to the energy of the moon because of all the lunar matrix distortions. But I feel as though it's super important to acknowledge and revisit the original material where the Anstatia Passage was first anchored. Are you guys familiar with that workshop, Crystal River Dance?
I'm not familiar.
I'm not either, to be honest.
Okay.
Too many workshops, not enough time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we might stream that and just revisit it and check that out. The Anstatia Passage, I think, is the Aurora continuum. I kind of look at it as like a external and then an in-between path and then the internal path. So the in-between would be like the Aurora continuum path, Aurora Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the Anstatia Passage is what she's referring to, which I would imagine would be a wide encompassing path. Like a lot of people are going to be taking that path too, studying sliders and all the in-between material.
We're going toward...
I was just going to say that earlier I was referring to like boy flow, which one is this August? I'm pretty sure it is actually 8. I'm pretty sure.
It's August?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 8th one.
The 8th ring?
4 is in 20. You could like, do the math and I don't know.
Are you talking about the solar ring? Solar Bardo ring?
No, I'm talking about, because you're saying like the Foy flows, like 8 of them, and like every August and Ethelon. So this August, I think, is the 8th one. I'm not really sure what that entails, but like it is number 8.
Okay.
So before I was questioning it, I thought it wasn't 8, but I think it is actually.
Okay. And that's linked with the transposition also, like what you were talking about earlier, or is that different?
I would assume it is because that's when the transposition comes online with the chevron. I'm not like specifically sure, but hopefully she describes that. We'll see. She's kind of talking about it now, so.
May 2022, and that means this August we would be getting to progressively open the Trinitean windows.
Hey Shante, you're welcome to join the Zoom call. The link's posted on the top of the comments and perspectives if you want to expand on what you're saying as well.
So
okay, and let's just revisit this real quick because Shante just brought it up as well. So 2024, if you look right above where she's showing the end pop, we've got May 22nd through the 27th. D7 opens. What is that? Trumpet Pulse 3, D7. Etharo. This is what we're just moving out of. and chevron 7 wave N lull, and transmutes TJ7 wave. There's only 7 trumpets, right?
I think she means you're saying TP3D7. You're wondering about that?
There is also, it says trumpet pulse 3 D7 opens. Chevron 8 starts and SRW9 out pictures. Is that solar ring wave, the Bardo wave?
Yeah,
The sun?
I believe so.
It's got to be. Yeah, because that's out picturing. We already have the solar ring waves. Okay. It's good to know what these initials stand for. And Etharo. So we're just coming up into 8/12. August 12th through the 15th will be the next one. And that's Void Flow 8, Ethalon, R2. What is R2 again? R222.
I'm not sure.
It's a lot of this chart is packed.
Head dive into this like this week so we could talk about this again.
Totally.
But yeah, I'm wondering. I'm also not really sure what a TP3 means. Trumpet pulse 3 or is transposition platform 3?
Oh, right.
That's all.
Because she says TJ also has initials on there too. Trumpet Jehovah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Maybe she'll say that on the video here. We'll see.
So there's an N there. And in 8 of 2024.
Oh, Shante just chimed in here. She says the solar, that's the solar, and D, I believe, stands for D density, R reclamation platform. So solar.
Are we talking about the
And it's like every year it was called something different as well, so I think that's where it links in. Maybe.
Okay.
So every year's a cycle.
I don't know if this is relevant, but I'm pretty sure that the TP, that means transposition platform, because if you look a little, this is on my screen too. I'm looking at the same thing. If you go back, there's like so like TP, it says transition platform 2 in the last section, and then it said D6. So like basically like transition platform 2, like the rainbow reservoirs, like that's correlated with dimensions 4 through 6, and then the rainbow rings, which is in this other what we were just listening to, is TP3, and that's like D7, 8, and 9. It's like correlated with that.
Those paintings were important, and that's why they were done at the open. I hope you get the gist of it anyway. Next one, please.
You see?
Hope I've explained that well enough.
Did you see how like? So it said, so like earlier, I think the year before that it was like the transition platform 3 finally fully cleared. So that means that I think that basically means like dimensions 4 through 6 on a light body scale are like cleared, basically, like with the chevron, my understanding.
And in 8 of 2024.
Have you worked with the Urea body, Mateo? I know some KSers are talking about it.
I believe I have been. Yeah. It's like it's hard to describe, honestly, but for some of the stuff I've been doing, so I've been working with like void currents a lot, and which are related to the Urea body, is like correlated with the Ure conservatory, and void currents are coming from there. So like that'll like activate it. Yeah.
It's kind of like the more you go there, the more you integrate the body that's going there type thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So working with the wind of breath, like I've been doing daily, is that is that the conservatory also? Is that linked to E-LAi, the Ura body, or is that different? Transposition.
I believe so. Because I guess in my understanding, because like the wind of breath is correlated with like the pre-plasm, like quintessences, and then there's like the plasm rainbow rain, and then there's like the plasmas, right? But I'm just not really sure if like the E-LAi conservatory and Fourier currents, if they're like a pre-plasm or if they're like beyond a pre-plasm. But yeah, like doing that technique does work with the Fourier currents too.
Okay.
Especially when we activated the crystal, the heart of Athema. So like that's, that uses like that breath to run those currents. And then also like on the planetary scale, like the Fourier currents are coming in through the emancipation passage and then I guess settling and on the transposition passage. So that's the same in our like miniature anatomy, they're also coming in. So
Right. So it looks like Shante says, my understanding is that each of the happy bubble blend zones with the bright flower gardens of Wyken, which is the conservatory, right? Wyken, that's abbreviated for the UROC conservatory,
yeah.
are opening one density at a time, hence the D for density, the initial D.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember in the last page, like she was talking about the end. So it was like an end pop with like the like she was talking about the transposition platform 2, because that's correlated with like D4 through D6 on the light body. So how like there's an end pop, and it's like the happy bubble correlated with that the second transition platform, rainbow reservoirs, like the bubble, I guess it creates like a protective sheet around D4 through D6, and then like transition platform 1 is correlated with D1 through 3, and then the one that's now activating is the solar rings. So and she was talking about that. She mentioned that in the email kind of briefly. So I find that interesting, but I'm not really sure how far in activation we are at that. I guess it's like maybe it's up to like D8. Not really sure, but maybe she'll talk about that later.
Yeah, maybe we can bring up the things mentioned in the email too, if you're comfortable with that, like some of the subjects where we're at.
It was pretty brief, but she was just saying like the solar rings, rainbow river type stuff. So like I guess in my understanding, like that means like that. And my feeling too, because I've been working with it, like transposition platform 3 is like activating more now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cycle 1, cycle 2, to get to the point where the errata cycle that goes with RRR5 and stage 8 of true body activation, before that would kick in.
So a lot of leaps that we're doing in this too.
But we are in a errata cycle at this point because of the crisis intervention and the
Looks like Sean is with us. Welcome, Sean.
Hey everybody, good day, good day. Happy to be here.
Hello, welcome.
How's everything going today? Are you feeling the activations? Anything different?
Whew. Yeah, definitely. My last couple days have been very eventful. We had some celebrations that we had here with the family, and had a long day and night of just music and connection and dance, and yeah, just presence that we wound up staying up all night and just enjoying each other's enjoying each other's presence. A lot of starseed energy. We're discussing, different things that are coming up. I've been staying connected with different friends from different points of the grid around the world. And definitely hearing a common thread where a lot of people are feeling lethargic and needing extra rest and taking care of themselves, and kind of finding their balance. So I feel we're all experiencing these energies and the activation in our own way right now. How's everybody else feeling today?
The timing for me was a couple days ago as well. Very similar symptoms, kind of lethargic, and when there's a lot of frequency coming in, I kind of stiffen up and just have to stretch all the time to get the meridians open. So there's a lot of that for me.
Same with me. Just a lot of high emotions. Feel really good today though. So happy days.
Similar symptoms too. Definitely generally good, but clearing comes up, especially during this time.
Yeah, around this time it's kind of usual.
Right. Yeah. Seems like we're all kind of experiencing that similarly together. I didn't bring it up in the chat. I thought about it. Wanted to know kind of how's everybody's kind of astral space or dream space been. Mine's been a little intense. Man, just having like lots of different energies and spaces navigating, and some not so nice type energies at play too. But yeah, just observing them and coming back to my body and just trying to let it clear and not hold on to it. So just doing my best to not be too much in my head about it, and just let things be, and trust. Yeah, just trust and allow at the moment.
Yeah, similar in dream time as well, like clearing even in dreams. Have you been seeing the updates from Arrayas? Are you linked in with KDDL 3, Sean?
I am, yeah, I am actually still in the process of completing the KDDL 3, but I am working my way through it, and I am subscribed to the newsletter.
So you saw this about the new councils coming on and activations happening on the 8th, it looks like, just 4 days away.
I did, yeah. That happened. I left a little comment on the Facebook. I was just like, "Oh wow, what a gift! That actually happens to be my solar return, my birthday." I was like,
Oh,
"Sweet, let's go, family."
That's awesome. You're already synced up with it.
Right, yeah, it feels great. If you have anything else to share beyond that, I don't know too much about what you were describing about the councils. If there's anything you'd like to share on that, I'm interested. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I don't know much about him either. I guess she's going to talk about them, but I wanted to ask Mateo about this too. Do you recall, like, is there new councils that were mentioned in KDDL 2 or 3? Or has it just been like conservatories and fields, FE fields, or is there councils of E-LAi? Because I don't think she's been using that term.
I'm not sure like if she used those terms, but I know that she has the different parts talked about like mission upgrades of mugs.
Yeah.
So like I'm telling that like new councils have came in like last May. Remember last May where there's like the sound vendors came in, like she said these new councils were coming in.
Oh, right.
I
don't think she gave names to them. Just
she
sound
did actually. I wrote it down. I could.
Okay.
I'll try to find it here. Yeah. Let me see what I have. But yeah. So okay, maybe I have it here, but it's gonna be hard to say. Let's see. So E-T-Y-C. This was last year. E-LAI-sa. So that was last May, but I'm not sure what, maybe there's like a council, the next council, like after that is now coming live.
Okay. Feels like a big one.
Yeah, like that was a pretty big deal, I remember in her words. But yeah, I guess there's a new one coming in, so interesting.
Yeah. And the timing of it too, like right before the outpicturing of the firestorms and the trumpets and everything. Some extra support.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that like I wrote down like these council up steps. You probably said somewhere, but I guess she said, like down external creation, there's like Guardian Alliance, and then it goes MCEO, and then AMCC, like Alhumbra Master Councils of Costa, and then E-LAi-sa, Ifia, Araya, Alhumbra Councils of the Effie Infinitum, and then last year, like the E-LAI-sa. But yeah, I'll see what's next.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so we're just scanning through some of the recent updates, or not the most recent. I think we're going to pull those up too, but just getting more understanding of the firestorms and what maybe to expect from the outpicturing that's going to start in August. Looks like. So just kind of scanning through some of the KDDL3 here. I'm going to continue.
That is stationed
And
at
that's
the central point
chakra
alignment
located,
of the
is it 36 inches above the head? It's called the magic window.
Is the chakra 14.
Yeah, I think that's the same location that she's talking about here, where the Blue Lotus
Okay.
tether beam comes through.
Okay, got you.
And I think it's also, I want to say it's linked with some of the sliders activations also. We opened the window above the fontanelle. That might be a different chakra. I know there's more than one chakra above the head. So.
Okay, anyway, within the E-LAi Conservatory of the Effie Consciousness Field, the transient window door aligns with the center point of the E-LAi body, the Effie Consciousness Field, and Nomi Seed 1, the eternal cosmoversal Nomi Seed.
So there's the E-LAi body right there. So it's actually connected to that part of our anatomy.
Within the Effie Infinitum. So that, I hope, gives you some idea.
Did she say stage 8 Trua body?
Hard to understand it without all the other diagrams.
See, I think I left off at 5 stages of Trua body activation. So there's been 3 other ones I got to catch up on. And I would imagine like after you have working with the E-LAi body, that's going to help activate all the Trua body levels, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That explain all those other pieces of it. I'm just looking here to see if it's worth another short break.
All right, she takes a break here. We can continue to the next one unless you guys want to discuss anything.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's like we just have.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's good to revisit this too and put it together.
Yeah.
That window has really got a lot in it. I didn't really catch all that the first time.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, my understanding that's where the transient window is where we're going back to, and that's where like the flames of E-LAi are coming in from currently. Way up there.
Yeah.
And that's where our E-LAi body is, I'm assuming. Like in the E-LAi Conservatory. But yeah, I mean, working. I mean, she
Hello,
said,
everyone.
with the wind of breath, like that's like the beginning of your body activation.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm doing
Yeah.
that then. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm really drawn
you
to
are.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, since Mateo was talking about it on our last call, I had gotten into working with that technique daily. It's been really really good. I really enjoy it. It's really fast and efficient.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I totally agree.
Your explanation of it really helps because it kind of helps the mental body ground it more too, for me. Just hearing somebody talk about it that has the understanding already there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really powerful, and there's a lot of things you can do with it. You know, it's,
And I notice you keep
Yeah.
going back to some of KDDL 2, like the transposition thing, or the beginning of KDDL 3. So it may be important to understand the foundation of the breath also, like where we're breathing from, how it all works.
yeah. Are you referring to like transposition, the platforms, or the
Yeah.
passage? What are you referring to?
Yeah, the quintessence, everything you talked about last time that was linked to the
Yeah.
breath. Stuff I need to study.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I could re-describe briefly if you want me to.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess with that technique, it's almost like because like on the planetary scale, like this is happening through the, like the larger like transposition and emancipation passage, and like we have our like miniature, passages which we can utilize to, for one, there's like these pre-plasms that are coming in, like these 5 quintessences, and then there's like the plasms like rainbow rain and such, and then there's like all the tour body flows are all like curated. When you merge these passages together, it creates a luminescence, and that's like the product. It's like a mixture of all that. And then like secondly, like the flames of E-LAi-sa are coming in like on a planetary transition and emancipation passage, same as the chevrons. So we have our own miniature passages which we can tap into that stuff with. Pretty amazing.
Hey, Mateo, so I know you've been working with this technique for a while. I wanted to ask you, once the pillars combine and you drop into the FE, and you're kind of in the state of holding the breath and building quantum, have you been experiencing certain, like almost like mental commands or certain energies or words that are like almost looping?
Could you describe more about that? That's interesting. I feel like I could relate to that.
Like for me, there's been like certain like words or frequencies that's been coming to me like when I'm holding in that space, and like it's almost like a mental command that's just looping. Like I'm like hearing these words just like love, peace, harmony, safety, love, peace, harmony, safety.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, it's almost like, and she talks about that, like using it for like cultivating like love, peace, harmony, and safety. And then it also like she referred to like with her, I assume like commanding it towards like parts of her light body for clearing. Like she said that she works with like she'll send it's like her auric field layer, like layer 1, like D1, and then to D2 and D3. And you could, something I've been doing too is like on in like the exhale, like saying out loud like chi ri, like to go those parts of your light body, or like or like
Right.
yeah, or like like harmonic universe 2 in our light body for clearing, like prana, manatreya.
Right.
Yeah, it's very so much you can do with it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. There's definitely a lot to explore and play with and experience. That's great.
Yeah. I'm glad to have helped.
I had another quick question, Matteo, and Steve is also asking this, like what activation should be a prerequisite for this upcoming transmission on Saturday? And is the last techniques or last journeys / techniques that was given, is that the 8 breath and the Mahadrajana, or have we had, is it Foy breathing? Was that on the very most recent updates that she gave?
That was not, that was in 2022. So the end of this session is like the eight breath. And
8 breath, yeah.
Last year, like a year ago, we started working with what's it called again? I think there's like 7 something to do with a Amente or something. We were talking about
Oh, the
Paul about this,
sparks.
like,
Yeah, the spark of the arcs.
yeah, the spark of the arcs. Yeah. So
Okay, those were really quick, really fast, and I think they were transmissions that she did on screen, something like that, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
But actual like techniques and breathing, I keep going back to wind of breath and 8 breath. That would be good preparation because that's working with the Foy breathing, right?
Yeah, it is. And
Foy passages.
those are like the 2 main techniques that were given to us. And
Yeah,
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah, the
And
8 breath
seems
is good.
Yeah, and they both seem like I mean, I guess like I've implied with like the wind of the breath, or I call it passage breathing, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's pretty simple, but like there's a like way more, like there's a lot you could do with it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's moving into other parts of anatomy. Like it really gets my wing spot. It kind of circulates where it needs to go in the anatomy that needs open. That's kind of congested. So it's like a guide in itself when you start breathing with it. Like you kind of open up guidance with it.
Yeah, definitely. Letting in
You
like
said
what?
I'm sorry. What was the other technique you were talking about? You called it 8 breath?
Yeah, that's actually, I'm getting guided right now since Steve asked the question, just to play this to the part where she introduces the 8 breath and shows the charts on the anatomy, just to revisit it. It'd be really good.
Perfect.
Then we can just pause it and discuss too as we go.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, I'll continue. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. And I'll be right back too.
Hello, everyone. Well, the big storm.
I think around the big storm is where we dodged the red pulse thing and did the 1,000-year leap, if I'm not mistaken. Really would like to revisit KDDL too. There's a lot there too.
That's where the Xeon, the anatomy, began, that we're working with as we go into final technique.
I'm going to rewind it a little bit because I think she's saying like when you're doing the breath, there's a lot happening above you in that chakra. I want to catch that.
Where your emancipation passage comes down, that would be where your transposition passage comes down. And when you do your inhale.
And that's where you're breathing from, is the heart of Athena, right there.
For the moment to get this done on time.
Great
So
diagram.
there's the heart of Athena.
What's up?
I said this is a great diagram.
It is, yeah.
Very relevant to what we were talking about a few minutes ago.
And that's the density 1 level that you're breathing into.
Yeah.
Here would be in the center of your brain on your D2 level, would be your pineal transient window open. We'll be opening the circuitry between Earth Core Nomi seed and the Trantian window up here in chakra 14.
Matteo, did you work with the Leitui lens that much? Like before this part in KDDL 3 where we revisited?
Could you ask that again? Sorry.
So there's a part in the pineal, it's called the Leitui lens. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with it. I haven't worked with it that much though.
Okay. it's interesting that we're revisiting it here because it was an old technique that we did before, just with light body. And I reposted the techniques on my channel just for people that want to work on that level directly as well. But it's an excellent review to work with it on the plasma level at this part too. And I think it's before the 8 breath that we do that. We kind of do the Mahadra Dhrana induction into the pineal. And then she shows a chart of the triangulation of the Laetui lens. So I'm going to post it's a really good one to clear out the pineal on that level too, because that's going to assist the light body. It's like an upgrade. So I'll post the playlist that I have on my YouTube with the full Laetui lens activation that we used to do with light body. So people can do that with this also if they choose to.
And
I'm
then bringing that into the merger between the plasma body and the light body structures. That goes on together. So we'll be getting into that.
And this isn't the most recent painting because she has the purple one also. I think that's in the most recent sessions, right? The Foy ones.
Yeah, that's in the last May.
Okay. Are those for sale yet?
No, they're not yet.
Okay.
But we'll be bringing
This is
it
the
in tonight.
Laetui lens here. It's not on the screen.
Okay. We're showing you this. Now, this is something that I think it was in 2007 in the Freedom Teachings period.
Hang on, that was a mouthful here. I'm going to rewind it a little. That's a very important location, apparently. The duct. Let's see. Chakra 15.
They said the Adrena triangulation is a 3-point electrochemical circuit in the brain that runs between the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the pineal gland. Biochemical and DNA RNA systems. When activated.
All right. So in these excerpts that I put on the link, the playlist about the Laetui lens, she's linking this to like our ability to manifest also. It's a really extensive subject. It's not just like a regular technique. It can be a really beneficial part of anatomy to work with here. It involves a lot of like perceptual filters, things like that. Because the way she explained it is like there's so many blockages to manifestation here. And a lot of it starts on this level. So it's really good to revisit this, like when it was first introduced, I think in one of the Dance Force series. But the excerpt's on that playlist for you guys to check out.
So this, I just wanted to show you and give you that visual again, because many of you may not have ever seen that in the Freedom Teachings when we talked about the Adrena triangulation. And again, we're going to be activating this with the Foy flows at this point. And it opened this is part of the process of opening the Trantian window and part of the process of opening the plasma body into the light body external creation anatomy structures.
So just a really good upgrade for this old technique. She said like back in 2007, and it's just random that it just appears with the. It makes sense because it's linked to the Mahadra Dhrana, and there's like an induction that we do with it here. I think she starts this before we do the 8 breath actually.
Next one, please. That one runs vertically. Oh, wait a minute. Then you have 6, 8, and 9 cross through at the pineal, and we'll show you what that looks like on
That's a lot of chakras in one location, right? I mean, that's a really important location. And then you have the 3 in between the Trantia window. It's 36 inches, chakra 14. That's the Adrena, upper Mahadra. And all these density locks that are up there too.
the next diagram, please.
Yeah, the next diagram will show a lot of the chakra interfaces.
Yeah, it's like these vortices because you have it makes like the bow tie. So you have the vortice going out in the front and the one going behind it.
There we go. Yeah.
It's interesting too because we're usually just focused on the front, but we've got the back to also keep hygiene with.
Okay. And the center point.
Okay, Lewis says the workshop was Dance for Joy Part 2 in August 2003 in Andorra. And that's where the Laetui lens was introduced, the information on the triangulation, the Adrana triangulation.
And that's how they fit together. The embodied chakras of the head are.
Okay, and that's something that if you guys want, we can revisit that before going into the 8th breath. So it looks like Steve was asking and Sean was also asking. So there's people that are wanting to work with techniques on the lead up to the 8th with these big activations. So we
That's
can.
a good idea.
Yeah, I'd like to revisit it. So whenever we get up to the actual 8th breath, we'll kind of pause it and we'll go back to the Mahadradrana induction.
Mhm.
And then you guys could.
You just said May.
You guys can follow along, do the technique, or just do it later, whatever you prefer is fine. Go ahead.
I remember the Mahadradrana induction. That was taking the Mahadradrana like code down to D13, right?
Yeah, to the Nomi.
Yeah.
Into the Nomi, right?
Yeah. Have you done it in a couple weeks, like she's saying?
No,
I haven't either.
I did this months ago.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be good to revisit it, kind of flush it through again.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else, Mateo? Anything to say?
No, I think she said it's in May 2020. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, it was like a couple years
That's-
before this.
Like at the end of this page, it says like when it happened.
Everybody kind of needs a wake that up again in 6 AB in February of 2019.
And Erica was asking if we're doing wind of breath together. It's a really simple technique. Mateo, would you like to kind of guide us through it? So you have a really good understanding of it?
Sure. Yeah. Like you want to do it right now?
Yeah, Erica was asking if we're doing it together, so I thought it'd be good to just kind of review it. Because that's what, it's also like the prerequisite before doing the Mahadradrana. So people that want to join in, do it together, you're welcome to. People that don't, all free will's respected in this space, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, what we could do is okay, we're on here. We could do it. We could also go back to the first time she did it with us on the live stream.
Do you know where that was? I was trying to look for that too. There was a
Yeah,
video.
it says right here. It says session for a November 28th, so 2017.
17. Okay, let me dig that up here.
Yeah, I saw it's not the end of it. It's like maybe like 3/4 the way through, or it's like a shorter session, maybe like 40 minutes or something.
You said 4A.
Wind of the breath, yes. The 4A from 49 minutes and 59 seconds to 57
Got it.
minutes 37 seconds.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I'm gonna let her finish this chart, and then we'll revisit wind of breath before the Mahadradrana. Then.
Okay. Yeah, fun.
So that's the passages breathing that I'm always talking.
All right, I'm gonna write down this timestamp real quick, and we'll go to wind of breath here.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes. About 30 minutes.
Okay.
More our experience with the beginning body, and there's a whole another tons of diagrams that we're working on.
Oh wow, this was actually a technique to connect with the Urea body. Looks like.
Really grateful for our tiny team here that helps me with the diagram cleanups and those kind of things.
It's good to have like conscious awareness of that, on the mental level.
When I bring them down, so
Yeah,
that information. Because
So I've still been calling it the Trua body. So it's the Ura body now.
It's too extensive to try to stuff it into KDDL3. We have enough that we're going to finish information, but this went further into the MCEO Freedom Teachings later than after the Voyagers books were published.
Are we playing this session from the very beginning, or is this from the
I fast forwarded
halfway
like
point?
30 minutes ahead.
Oh,
It actually about like
Yeah, it should be
20,
pretty-
24 minutes. But I'm
Okay.
catching things here I didn't catch before. I needed to hear some of this. Because she's saying the white,
All right, yeah.
the white and red dragon dark flowering, which lines up with what Erica was saying about the reptilians.
Mhm.
They dark flowered basically, their fatality.
Yeah, yeah.
The White and Red Dragon crews were fallen groups of E-LAi-sa, White and Red Dragon grids, and that's where they began their infiltration on this planet and like neutralizing field. So that means in November,
It's like the
thing
last
happened.
like 10
They
minutes
referred to
of this session.
Oh, okay, I'll fast forward it.
this.
Okay.
It comes
okay,
into
yeah.
it so
The
randomly
Guardian is saying, "Here, tell
as
them do
well.
this."
She talks
They-
about the hurricane in Florida and whatnot as well. So it's
Yeah.
literally bang on at the end.
All of it
Yeah,
kind of
hurricane.
outpictured.
Yeah, she said that like she told her friends to like hold hands and do this technique in a circle, and how it like may have like influenced the hurricane, or had it not like destroy their house.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's a powerful technique.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the weekend, but
Okay,
the
yeah, so-
we talked about
okay.
the domain
Oh,
passage
okay.
sets and passages
Website
blend
is-
merger. Yeah, it is.
The way she speaks about it, I don't even think it's like intentional. It just kind of came out, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like an emergency technique or something.
Actually, I think it's part 4. Yeah, if you have
of
the
the
5th
fifth
anniversary
anniversary
now.
Oh, just real quick, I want to mention what Lewis says. Didn't the Fates already fall once? They participated in biogenesis, then they fell again, which means they can't be saved and are going back as space dust.
Are you asking if you think that's what's going to happen to them, or?
Like it's already happened, so they
yeah.
Yeah.
so there's no redemption.
I hope I'll some hope, but hope.
Yeah.
They have. I'm not sure with like the because the 5 RR is like the final 5 errata complex awakening. I think that might like counter that.
Okay.
She said that if like the, even like a Gonfall being if they're
Yes. Phantom.
actively, yeah, if they like want to have their Nomi seed activated or they participate in that, like it would.
Well, just the
Or you rely on
statement
it.
that Lewis found, that quote about all phantom fall systems are under repair, is a huge statement. That involves a lot of life forms in those systems. A lot of efforts that's probably being outpicturing being made, that Christics that maybe strategically be located there, that have already worked with Shadow Body, depossessed them, and are working in Phantom, are in a place to be able to help. Like that's kind of how I'm seeing it, like my experiences.
Yeah.
And when you think of Phantom, that's
Like,
Parrallel is that's the breach point for invasion that they had planned. That's our vulnerable location, like for Earth, for them to come in. So if that's receiving the host and frequencies, then it's a game changer. Everything's changed. Percentages, everything.
So the beginning
Spared.
part,
This whole area was the wind
pretty
and the
much
breath.
very well spared. There's a reason for that too, that did have a little bit to do with the Guardians' intervention, but before it got here.
There's a lot of potential with that breath, like working together with it. It sounds very powerful.
But
yeah,
this-
definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually got a chance on the beach the other night to work with me and 2 other individuals. So there was 3 of us together doing this breath work together, and it just felt like we all just were building the quantum, and it just you just slide right into that timeless space. And I don't know how long we were all there for, but there was I felt just a lot of energy being shared, and a lot of intelligence. However, I wasn't like really latching on to any of it. It just felt like it was just all streaming through. And I figured, I'd probably make more sense, or, have more insight on it throughout the days to come, if that makes sense.
So you've
Yeah,
taught other
yeah.
people how to use it, Sean?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Two soul fam members. I had my blood related sister that's in my family, and this other starseed sister that we developed a very close connection with. Recently, we've been spending a lot of time together, so it was they were asking me questions about it, and yeah, it just felt right. So we wound up sitting together near the ocean the other night and exploring it. It was really, really beautiful meditation.
Wow. That is awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never done it like another individual, but that's like pretty profound.
Yeah, it was, because we started getting on this conversation about the number 3, and like how I've noticed, really, really profound vortexes and portals of energy opening almost instantaneously when you have, the presence of 3 beings that are very, very tapped in, and they all kind of find their particular energetic alignment. And I've just witnessed such, like, it's such profound experiences in these spaces, like on more than one occasion. And I guess, since I've kind of realized that, I don't necessarily am always doing it consciously, but I am very aware when like the opportunity presents itself. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
cool.
Yep.
Right.
Same
It's
here.
like we have the opportunity to really tap into something right now.
It presents itself almost. Like, and she was
Yes.
saying, like, there's guidance that, from these
Right.
upper levels working with the chakra. That's what I was mentioning earlier. It almost feels like
Right.
it's like a guide. The breath itself is a guide.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wind was just mimicking the breath, and it just felt like this big vertical shaft of just like cool, like just like energetic winds was just like wide open, almost like you were standing over like a
Wind
subway
tunnel.
gate or something, and like all of the air is like flying up from below you. It just kind
Wow.
of felt like that.
Very
awesome.
experiential.
Yeah, very, very beautiful experience.
And it's very simple. Erica's saying, thank you. This is easy, and I've been wanting to do focused breath work with a real purpose. It's so simple. You just memorize the colors, the pillars, and the point on the
Right.
body.
That's what I was so attracted to. I was like, this is like super. Yeah, it's a simple technique that you can do really quickly, and those type of techniques have always like interested me the most. Like when you have these, like, you can cultivate and shift so quickly with, not a ton of mental exertion, if that makes sense, or like know-how. I feel like it's a really beautiful thing.
It's not all technical or anything.
Right. Yeah, right.
But it is it's relieving hearing the places that you're breathing from, like Mateo's explaining, transposition, emancipation. There's some kind of relief in that for me to hear somebody that understands that level of it. Like, it makes it more real and vivid.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
It's very like very straightforward. And I guess it is technical, but like you don't need to know the technicals, it's not like
Yeah.
that's just it you understand.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Yeah. I do think though, I think that like over time, getting a sense of like what you're doing, like, okay, like this aqua essence is over here, my right side, and then this 3 quintessences, and kind of like differentiating between them, and it's pretty profound, yeah. And like what it creates, like I guess luminescence is like that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's like a real breath, what you were saying. Like, you're actually taking a real breath.
Yeah, it's like a deity breath, like,
Deity breath, yeah. That's
yeah,
deity breath.
Yeah, deity.
definitely.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been hearing that, deity. like whispered like in my awareness a number of times over the past couple of days. It's interesting. Here it is again.
Oh, you got to
Yeah.
check the Virtues Workshop, Sliders 10. So that's where it was all introduced.
Right.
Shantae is saying
think-
that she's done the same with a big group of friends, and we do it at every meeting and gathering. They throw music and arts festivals, so a lot of them are exposed to Bloom of Doom tech. So she put
Right.
Go Vertical codes up, and we do Wind of Breath all the time, amazingly clearing and the most protective energy I've ever experienced.
Oh, beautiful. That's amazing.
And she's an old timer. Shantae's been around. I think we came in together too. It's really high frequency technique. So simple.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and like like I've implied, you know, that you could use it to generate like rainbow rain and stuff too, and yeah, like do it, you know, because these transposition platforms are basically running on Illuminaire. It's like the pass through to like the other location. So it's almost like you're becoming like your own transposition platform in a way.
Wow, it's incredible. All right, we'll finish this up and then we'll do the Mahadra Adhrana and the 8 breath.
Technique. If you begin with the wind of the breath, this is just part one.
Okay, so before we start doing this, we'll do the Mahadra Adhrana one. Let's start that one.
Hello, everyone. Into the Nomi seed, so you're being added to it as if you weren't on the bus when it first came in, but you can get on the bus now. So it allows everyone to get access to that, and that even applies to Faith-Ali and Gonfall people. They can access too. They can't do harm when they get there. If they try to, it just bounces them right back out.
That's interesting. So that just answered our question earlier, what she just said. You guys caught that.
First came in, but you can get on the bus now. So it allows everyone. So thank you for joining us, and hope you have a good day, and stay well, stay safe, stay sane. Yeah. Good night, good morning.
Stay sane. That was like a blast from the past. Wow, Mass. I almost forgot about Mass. All right, so we'll.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. So we'll move on to the 8 breath here. How are you guys feeling? Do you want to continue 8 breath?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Go for it.
All right, let's do it.
How'd that feel for you guys?
I certainly felt a lot more,
Yeah.
especially when the spot came up my spine, umbilical column.
Yes. It was
That's
enhanced.
great. Felt really good.
Mhm.
I feel like doing it together. It's like a mini shield, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I was actually feeling a lot of like pressure and swirling going on in the pineal, like during all the holds.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Adhrana code. I had just given her credit for the work that she had naming these now. We're not going.
All right, we'll just do a few of these and then go into the 8 breath. Which is like I mean, it's like the wind of the breath, pretty much, but you're using these codes here.
Yeah. Really powerful codes.
She also said to breathe into the Azray instead of Heart of Athena, too, so that's interesting. Going into light body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of the triumphs.
So do you guys want to move into the technique itself and do the technicals after, or do you want to do the technicals first?
I'm fine with either. I think that Is this, I think there's like another, the technique is in like the video after this, I think, or maybe two after, not really sure.
Are we doing just the 8 breaths, or are we going to do the whole? I think it was like 49 steps, that one.
Yeah, I think we'll do all the steps because, Sean, have you done this before?
I'm not sure. I know I've done some of the 5RR stuff. I'm just trying to maybe if we get into it a little bit, I'll have a better idea
Plasma
if I've done it or not.
Okay. Because the technicals are pretty much just going over each step, what you're actually doing. And
Yeah,
then
we
she-
don't have to. I don't feel like I need to go over all the technicals.
I feel like
just follow along.
amped.
The
Kinda-
actual like transmission is she basically she says the steps during the actual technique.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Before like slowly and detailed, but like I don't really, for me, like, or generally I don't think it's that necessary to listen to that part. It's she goes over the same
Right.
thing.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think she pretty much does that in most of the techniques. It's kind of like a slow breakdown, and then she gets into it and reads over it again.
Welcome
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
For the final part of the session, we are going to run the technique live with the live wave. It's very interesting, the 4-wave coming up.
It just feels good doing it right after the induction, going right into it. So I feel amped right now.
That's
Oh, yeah.
activating and
Oh,
popping,
sure, I'm
as they
buzzing.
say in the grids. It's very, very powerful, actually.
By the
As
way, I'm
I'm
just checking the comments on
sleep-
perspectives. Erica, Namarta, and Anne also are asking to do the techniques now. So there's a consensus reached on it.
When I read this
Great.
technique to you, that I already read through once, I'm just going to read to you directly.
Is everybody still here? Did we transmigrate somewhere?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm still here.
It looks like Montserrat says that she has tingling, icy sensations on the top of the head. Never felt it before doing this tag. I had sensations I never felt before doing this tag as well. It's a really interesting experience. Does anybody want to share what you experienced?
It's literally the same sensations at the top of my head I've probably been feeling for probably the last week now. It seems like the activations have been coming in quite recently. At least the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, felt great. Yeah, just something that's kind of funny. Sometimes, usually when I do these tags, I like to do them standing. I feel like it's just stronger for me. But like a lot of the inhales, I was just like it was pretty intense. And I would like lose consciousness for a second. I was just like, wait, what am I doing right now? And then I would have to like recuperate, like get back to yeah, it was, but yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was a little floaty also at some parts, like really high frequency. I was trying to stabilize.
Yeah, totally.
Obviously going to be enhanced because of the group shield here, people doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced what you're talking about a lot doing some of the techniques standing, Mateo, as well. Just feeling like, like my legs are almost just going to cave out, so I'm just like leaving my body.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
A lot of coughing and sneezing as well. My nasal passages were horrible during this technique.
Huh.
Actually, now that you just said that, mine actually did the opposite. Mine were more swelled up before the technique, and I'm actually feeling clearer after.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll
Yeah.
just share like at certain parts there was what was it? I took some notes because it was really experiential for me. The window activation, like at the core, I think right when the crystal hits the core, and she says to exhale. I did 3 exhales somehow. I'm not sure what that means. That the breath kept coming out like 3 times. It was really weird. And then the blue diamond, as soon as that popped on, I saw this tunnel go through it. That must be the line, right? Like the tether line. I just saw this
Yeah.
really long, filling tunnel that just went whoosh, like it just opened and just swished. Maybe I just activated the tether thing, I don't know. But I could feel it like go way, way out somewhere. And then the pulses were like because it's called flicker flames, and I realized, okay, well the pulses are what's causing the flickering. Like it's kind of a flickering effect. So I was sensitive to that, and I never experienced that either. So just all 3 of those were brand new experiences for me. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the most powerful techniques that we have.
Yeah, so we have
Did
the
we actually get any part of technique free? Because I know she mentioned it. That was supposed to be getting technique free either in August or May, but
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we
Was-
didn't. I guess we didn't get that.
Was that the sparks? Like that
I
completed it? Because she said 3 sparks.
think she said it would be like the blue, like the Lotus tether line activation or something, like like more specific. Like where this technique like activates that, but like I think she's referring to like a specific technique, like the second part of this.
There's been a few things like that, like the crystal caverns where we were supposed to get that on and there was no mention of it, and then she just briefly mentioned years later, I think, that it was accessible again. So there's been kind of trail offs, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Some of it. You just have to go in, go vertical, and just fill it out yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Which I really like that approach. I mean,
did everything leave?
she said that she would come back after we're done with the techniques. I think she actually did this one last night. And that's what I was going to ask you guys too, because we have the 3 sparks ones from the latest KDDL updates. Was that last year? I think 2023.
Last May, yeah.
So if you guys want, we can do those as well and just wrap it up with all the techniques, and then we can go into discussion or whatever you guys feel like doing.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah, but you
Yeah,
get
go for
to
it.
maybe another time we could like the very last session has some pretty interesting like history and talks about, remember that session where it's like it says like all the gates are opening and all that. It's pretty profound.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
So it looks like this was exactly last year. It was on June 4th, and today's June 4th. I thought that was interesting. Or watching it.
And
I was gonna mention the technique is halfway through the second session or video.
control.
Okay. Do you guys want to watch check out the mugs here? Or did you want to move right into the technique?
I'm open for either.
Okay, I'll check the comments here and see. I'll let it play.
Chaos. But we are back, and
Just wanted to give some context here. So I think there wasn't any sessions in between what we just did, and that was in February 2022. And then we went all the way up to June of 2023, and that's when she came back on here.
this was, it is this information that.
Wow, there's a lot here, guys. Are you seeing this? I think somebody actually put this together, like made clear pictures of the charts, maybe in the Nomi groups. Or maybe even typed out.
I think Ian did. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
nice
think
to
he
see.
did.
It's quite a few events here, though, that took place. Linked in with the activations. Mugs, I guess.
Transmission 7. That's Foy 6. Also was Chevron 4, Solar Ring Wave 13, and Solar Ring Wave 5 out picture.
What does the word clemency mean?
Well, I'm not sure actually.
Sure.
Just looking it up here. Looks like mercy, lenience, and appeal for clemency. So it has to do with mercy or lenience. Those were petitions. Wow. Okay.
When you see all these little ones, these are keeping track of some of the.
Okay, that's interesting. 2317 AD. But the sphere of Amity is on Eartha 3. So I guess that's our future in 2317. The Cave City openings. Trying to piece that together.
That's one part. That's the
Yeah, that
first
is
part of the
interesting.
Ark of the Covenant portal passage.
Because I've been having experiences like with caves, that's come up.
All right, and the A1 number form.
I wonder if that's linked to the interdimensional association of free worlds. It was in Voyagers 2. Do you guys remember that? Sounds similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
So she said
transplanial.
the Amenti sphere is currently in Eartha 3 and what, Andromeda M31?
Yeah, the passages running through there, I guess, through M31 to Eartha. So Eartha is like a planet. It's like the future Earth. Density 5, right? And I'm still trying to bridge how density in our external links into like internal also. I think Mateo's probably integrated a lot of that.
Yeah. You're asking if Eartha is density 5?
Yeah, well, Eartha 3 and the connection to M31. Because I'm trying to figure out when she's talking about cave cities, where is it located? Because my mind goes to inner Earth here, but I don't think that's right. Like, because if the sphere of Amity is in Eartha, then it's not going to be inner Earth and Earth here.
What's the difference between Eartha 1 and Eartha 3?
I know, I'd like to know. Trying to piece it together.
Because I'm still kind of, I mean, I know that Eartha, my perspective, it's like the external creation divine blueprint of Earth, right? As opposed to medium Earth is internal creation. And there are other Earths, like the two other ones, Orion and Araya.
Yeah,
Um,
and Arrayas.
but like, yeah, and then Arrayas and the last one. But I'm wondering if like Eartha is already on this host in the future and we're merging with it.
Right.
I think Eartha would be external creation because you directly work with Eartha and the elementals in sexuality.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's Eartha 3. So I'm wondering if that's like Eartha 1, Eartha 2, Eartha 3. Are these different levels of creation? Or what does the numbers stand for? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't got there yet. Maybe KDDL 2.
I don't think that they don't talk about Eartha KDDL 2 from what I remember.
Okay. Yeah, because it's always
I
been
think
density
Earth
5. Earth.
talked about in Voyagers.
Did she say it's density 5?
I don't
She might be
remember. I
referring to Earth at
just
1.
remember spoken about in Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on the harmonic universe chart where it shows like Gaia, Terra, Earth is density 5.
Do you think it might be referring to the 3 Adashi return cycles? So Earth 1 would be on the level of your first Adashi return, Earth 2 would be on your second cycle, and then Earth 3 would be number 3. So you'd get all 3 flames, and you'd
She did mention that earlier.
back into eternal.
She was linking the Adachi cycles with it too. So it might be it.
This future tether line. This is where the Aurora platforms, the 5 Aurora platforms,
Okay, Aurora platforms, that's the middle path, I guess.
that correspond with the Anastasia passage begin opening into the Crystal Bridge passage and the 4 transposition platforms.
Okay, well, she just answered it right there. It's the Aurora, it's like the second path, the middle path in between external and internal.
Go with the Crystal Bridge passage, and they
Wow.
open progressively.
So it's like we have passages that we're trying to flicker on and they just kept not opening all the way. It's an interesting dynamic too. And then some of them didn't open up at all until years later.
Through 2317 to 2617 AD.
It's interesting to look at it because it's caves, clouds, and oceans here. Kind of reminds me of the vertical maps, like where you go through passages and then it just opens up to, like, you're on another planet. You know, you're on Earth. Just pop up.
Note A2 equals Asalion Sound Collectives, Cloud City, Illuminaire Sound Masters Councils.
Oh, there it is. That's what you mentioned earlier, Mateo. So that is vertical maps. Cloud Cities is on the vertical maps. So this is probably still Aurora platform here.
Of the Wycan FE consciousness
Mhm.
field.
Wow.
So this one that happened in March of 2021.
Just such an interweaving, it looks like, of external, internal. It just keeps going back and forth, trying to keep up with it.
Was where
Yeah, and then
it's
What's up?
I said also in the in between, like the Aurora, you know.
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting path to take. That's like the scenic route. You get to see the best of both
Yeah.
worlds.
the second part
That's
of the
true,
Ark
yeah.
of the Covenant portal passages. It is the Ark 2 Cloud Cities that run.
So I'm starting to see why Shantae was mentioning this particular workshop, Crystal River Dance, because that is vertical maps. And she's using all these names here. And these are all passages connected to the Blue Lotus Tether. It would be really well worth the revisit, that workshop, to put all this in perspective, because there was so much work done to open up these, like the cloud cities, the ocean cities, the caves, kind of weaving and dodging past hibernation zones, you know, like using these maps. It's fascinating.
They are the Hitharo electrical peaks. Note A3 equals Aquafereion ocean cities.
That's really interesting. Aquafereion. So the Aquafereion matrix also, like the passage is open to that. And we were just on live support, I believe, from that matrix before.
So here again, we have the third Aquafereion Ocean Cities platform of the Anastasia passage, and
Almost getting visuals as she's describing. This is awesome.
here we have the month 93 in when this flood and hurricane occurred. So that began opening here.
It's interesting outpicturing occurring here.
When the grids were being cleared at the Cathedral 1 set, which is not too far from here.
Did you guys notice the 100-year flood thing too? Let me see. You see that? Mayaka? It's Lake Mayaka, 100-year flood.
Yeah,
That's
not sure what that means.
100 years. That's Was that the hurricane just the beginning of it? Is it going to go for 100 years? What does that mean? Is it going to amplify? That's like, I don't know how to read that.
Not sure if it's like cyclical.
Right.
It's like something that's reoccurring or not.
Because this was last year, they had or no, 2 years ago, they had the hurricane.
No, it's when all of our offices got flooded, wasn't it?
2
Oh,
years
whatever.
ago, 2022.
Oh. I mean, has there been any floods since?
No, there hasn't been any major hurricanes that I've heard of. I know some KSers out there. I wonder what that's going to do. That's interesting.
Where we had more platform. Remember, there's opens.
And I believe that's here in Colorado, Avon 7, if I'm not mistaken. Steamboat Springs out here. It's about like 2 hours from here.
May 2023 to 3 Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds.
There it is. We were just talking about it.
And the Center for the Advancement of Interdimensional Communication. 3033 AD. And this connects to our Ephemera Freedom Seed 5, actually.
And I'm just saying, like, I mean, time waves initiate on these dates, like May 2023 to 3033. There's like, I mean, there's time waves coming in from 3033 to that date and like anchoring and bridging. It's just amazing. I still got to see what December 8th was also last year.
So all of this was happening in May. TJ7 ends. That's where all of the trumpets are cleared.
Okay, she mentioned solar ring wave 9 outpictured. And we did have solar flares. So I'm wondering, and that was 9? How many ring waves are there? So yeah, that completely went past me. Just caught that. How many waves are there total? Is this referring to the Bardo rings, the sun's Bardo?
I'm not sure.
Solar ring wave, I'm thinking Bardo waves. Pretty sure. I think there should be 15, right, for each dimension, maybe.
15. Yep. 15.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was supposed to end in 2022. Because
Okay.
originally the sun was supposed to be around 450 billion years old when it explodes. But I think that went down in 2007 to 45 billion.
So we could have just seen the outpicturing of the solar ring wave 9 with those flares.
Yeah,
All of
potentially.
the 7 trumpets and the 7 Jehovian seals have opened, activated, and have been neutralized by their corresponding chevron. So
And that's why it was kind of like mixed reactions. There wasn't like a solid reaction. It was a little, I don't know, like bittersweet or something. It just felt kind of weird to me.
So that's in May that we have to look forward to that, May of 2024. And then this is where the next column would start, is 12C, August of 2024.
But what we're actually seeing is not the actual Bardo wave. We're seeing it pass through the Aquafereion buffer. So that's probably all the colors and how we saw it out picture. Because if it was like actual ring, we would have been just like vaporized if the buffer wasn't holding, right?
Highlights so we can actually read them, and I'll put them up really quick just to show you what it looks like, and then we'll go into the activation itself.
It's like Erica Renee says, I've seen a rainbow ring around the sun starting this year. Have you guys noticed anything different with the sun? Because I mean, there probably would be some noticeable changes. There were some people saying that they were, and again, you've got to look at the Aquafereion buffer. This is passing through, and we're kind of seeing, you know, like side effects, I guess, or you know, these different things out picturing after it passes through that. Some people were saying they noticed the sun was wider and like glistening more.
I've noticed it wider, especially during high noon. It's really noticeable midday for me. And at sunset, I've been seeing a lot of very noticeable magenta, like D15 color magenta ring around the sun, like very, very noticeable.
Hmm. It's just fascinating to think about the dynamics happening around us right now. Like how it coincides with the actual dates, looking at this stuff.
Then there's a few other things that we were going to just speak about to round it out to host, which was host 2. So there are 3 hosts, each working a different part of creation. They are all blending together now. And it's very exciting to see all those pieces come together.
See, that's a big statement too. They're all blending together to become one, like in the future. So there should be no indifferences or better thans or any of this stuff. That should really put it to rest as far as the polarity of like, oh, I'm doing plasmas. Oh, I'm doing my heart shield, I mean, it's coming out of her own mouth right now. Like all this really profound implications that she's speaking on here. Very powerful.
Is every one of those pieces the 8-year workshop, KDDL 3.
Do you guys remember what date that was? It's kind of blacked out. You can't see it. I think it was supposed to be last year, though. Pretty sure.
Say
And-
the last spark of art.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she said some in November, 20 something. I'm not sure.
I think it was last year. Pretty sure.
Yeah, last year. But I'm not certain if it happened, but if it did, we might have had a live stream.
Yeah, it was another one of those trail offs. Like we did 2 of them, and we're supposed to do the 3rd. Same with the Crystal Caverns. Like she left it off like we'll meet back and we'll do the Crystal Caverns, and years went by, and then she briefly mentioned, oh, they did open. So I think it's following suit with that probably.
Yeah.
The beginnings
And
of
she also
everything
mentioned
moving
the
forward from that.
Go ahead.
Rainbow Reservoir is open now too.
Yeah, Rainbow Reservoirs. That's it.
I've been messing. I talked about it, but I've been experimenting with that. It's been pretty nice.
Yeah. It's open. It's all open.
Yeah.
Will be part of the Hostmasters series of web shops, which are going to be run differently than this one.
Just feels so much lighter, like things are getting easier these days.
Falling, Phantom Fall, and Gone Fall, external creation systems, a final opportunity for eternal life ascension salvage.
That's the big statement that Lewis found the other day.
Via Crystal Bridge Passage, Apharia, Ascension, re-evolutionary return to the eternal Effie consciousness field. Can we move that up a little, hun, please? Thank you.
So it must mean that there's still enough consciousness or like coherency in these places for them to make decisions to get back up. Or else I don't think that they would engage with that.
And various related interstellar bioregenesis hybridization programs thereof. The seeding 3 races of Earth's angelic human have evolved through the morphogenetic imprint of the sphere of Amente.
Just wanted to ask you guys real quick, do you recognize this thing that she said, trans-time wars? Like, what is that? Was that in Voyagers? I don't remember that.
The seeding 3 races of Earth's angelic human have evolved through the morphogenetic imprint.
Okay, so the sphere of Amity is actually a time portal. So it kind of implies, yeah, I guess our time has been messed with. She mentions that in Voyagers. The Zetas were working through this time rip and the Phoenix Falcon wormhole. Wow, it's a lot of information there to
248,000.
digest.
Yeah, seriously. Whew.
Indeed.
Yeah, one of those interesting sessions, definitely.
Yeah, so I wanted
I
to
wonder
get.
where the
Okay.
where the so like the gates that you could just have 3 strands active and then 6 strands active, or those just going to Eartha? Like Eartha 1 and then Eartha 2 maybe, or
Yeah, you were reading my mind on that because I've actually made an excerpt on the art gates I wanted to play here just to get some more context on what those hub gates are about.
oh good, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm going to play that. Let's see. And so I'm thinking Starfire is still on. Do you guys know much about Starfire? I haven't studied it.
It's supposed to start in 2047, isn't it? I believe.
Okay. Hasn't even started yet.
They can't get any more than these territories of the grids.
Rochelle. She briefly mentioned the sovereign fall path too. That was mentioned throughout the work before. And I think it's probably linked to the 2/3 shield and then the 1/3 free will thing. But she hasn't used that term lately that I've heard. How's everybody doing?
Doing well. Is she saying the video is kind of cutting out for me a little bit, but did she say in that video where the migration is through the art gates?
The
Like
locations?
yeah, where they go to?
Oh, where they go to. I'm thinking Eartha also, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought so too. Huh.
Yeah, I didn't get as much technicals on that excerpt as I'd like to, as I thought I did. But that workshop was Testaments of Outrageous Renewal Revelations. It was 2006. Treasures of the Tower in the Secret Garden.
Okay.
That's where they were introduced at.
Are there any art gates in Colorado?
It looked like there was some that kind of span over the country, but the actual hubs, I think there was one in Mesa. It looked like Seattle also. There's a whole manual that has all
Yeah.
the gates. Have you seen the manual?
I know I haven't seen the manual.
Okay. I don't know if there was a Kathara team module on it. Maybe people talking about it. I'm not sure. Seems like there was some special workshop about it also.
Yeah, yeah.
I can share the manual in the comments, so for anybody who wants to study it, you could share that here.
Sure, yeah, it'd be nice to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Thank you.
Yeah, but what she was saying in KDDL 3 is that's base 3, so that's 3rd strand activation, which is incredible. I mean, that's a lot of. Doesn't take much to get 3 strands activated, from my understanding. And that's the gates. I think the Trinity gates are the first ones that are viable now and are open. So there'll be a lot of people having experiences. I think like when I was at the Gruel this most recent time, it felt like I experienced some level of gate passage, but it's not like a one-time thing. It was just like this flickering type feeling of just like little mini realizations or flashes. and I was like changing, like my face was looking different. My eyes had this like green color in them. I took a picture of it actually. I was just feeling floaty, like just like vapor or something. So I don't think it's like a one and done, like you just pass through and that's it. It just feels like it's kind of like the flashing thing or something, or flickering. At least my experience.
Yeah, it'd be cool, interesting to go to Malibu and see what's up with that. Guess there's one in Malibu or something.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Or one of those arc gates.
I'm kind of wanting to study Crystal River Dance that Shantae was bringing up, because that's the Aurora platforms also. It's really extensive. That's where the vertical maps were introduced also.
Yeah, I'm just questioning like what we're gonna focus on in Toastmasters,
Yeah,
considering like the blend between the three, you know.
yeah, that's going to be incredible to see all of it mixed together.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how like we decide which is best for us, you know, or what when the time comes.
That's what I was going to ask you guys, if you have a feel of like which path resonates with you right now. I imagine it probably is going to change a little for some as time goes by.
I mean, I think, you know, they're all like great feats and equally valid and such. I guess it'll just depend on like when the time you want to transmigrate, which is appropriate to your template, you know. I think like for myself, I'll have the goal of going through like the path of Truro would be like the main goal, you know, but I mean it doesn't really matter to me really. Like if I end up going through like one of those art gates to like Eartha 1 or something, like, you know, that's it's awesome. So can't complain, whatever it is, right?
It seems like if you're doing the
Yeah,
Truro
totally.
path, you would be able to like go to both the other paths also. Like they would be accessible, right?
Say that if you're doing what?
If you're doing like the internal path, like the Truro path, you'd be able to still go back to the other two paths also, right? It's like a time
I would
thing.
yeah. I'm just kind of wondering if you were to do like the Truro path and go directly to medium Earth, would you not go to Eartha 3, like you would yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering. Because like it is like the sphere, you know, like with like those or the cathedrals, are you going through like the sphere amenti? Or are you not? You know, that's kind of a question I'm thinking right now.
She was using the term bus also, like people. I think that's like people holding shields that are like kind of hosting families or collectives or something. But she's also put that in reference to like having two-way codes or one-way codes. Like you're just going to go there and stay, or you're going to have two-way capabilities to be able to go there and come back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean that very interesting. Yeah, I mean we should be, you know, grateful if any of us could go to medium Earth on the path of Truro. Like that's pretty spectacular as it is. So
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty amazing. but yeah, I mean, if we could go there and come back, that'd be even more interesting. But and even if we were just go to Earth at 1 and through one of those, I guess the arc gates, the with the 3 strand, like that's still like it's still a feat, that's still amazing. And
Try
like
and
I
concentrate on Proga. You should be able to get there. At least on
yeah,
your physical body in this life.
definitely, yeah. Yeah, I do wonder too, like if you were to go through one of those like um gates to Eartha, then you would be able to keep your body, and then from there you could probably like upgrade your body, and then go further, maybe from there from Eartha 1, or you then go to Eartha 3 and then to medium Earth or something, and then you know a Rihanna Earth, a Reyes. I mean, I wonder if it's possible even from here to go all the way to Arrayas. I'm not really. I mean, I bet it's possible. That'd be pretty like a pretty spectacular feat. Someone could do that with their body. Um, but I guess like that's kind of like the they're all equal in value, but that would be like the top of the top if you actually bring your body to Arrayas from here. You know.
That's like a really high bandwidth ability to be able to reach, I guess.
Yeah. That'd be pretty amazing. But like maybe I think, or there's like stages of it. You go to Eartha and then build up your body and then go further from there. Or from here, you go to medium Earth. You do the path of Trua or Lila, and then from there you could probably go to Arrayas once you're 33, maybe.
Hmm.
I mean, you got the Starfire cycle opening in, I think it's 2047, or it might be 37. So you'll be able to access the God worlds from there to some extent.
Yeah.
But I think that might be more of a bardo path rather than a physical ascension.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess in my understanding, like the Starfire is like the like sequential Adashi cycles, and like I guess there's like the Starfire configuration cycles, then it goes into the Adashi cycle. So it's like the sequential cycle, like what it should be, right? And then the Christopher failsafe host, it kind of became where they're happening all at once. But I guess now like the Starfire is happening at the same time too. So I guess you could do like one stage after another, or you could, I guess, do it all at once with like the true body activation and all that. Because I guess like yeah.
It's pretty interesting how all the 3 paths are kind of coming together and they're kind of using the same mechanics that the solar activation cycle uses. In terms of the particle spins between the net of parallel and inner, but it brings it all into one path.
Yeah,
Quite interesting.
Yeah. All 3 paths are viable. Looks like Marlon left a comment here. And Marlon, you're welcome to join the Zoom call. The link's in the chat. It's good to see you. There are a lot of the gates that are currently working. The interstellar gates are open and accessible in the dream state. He says that he experienced it consciously in a lucid dream meditation. But I think it's up to the person's higher self if they will be able to do it consciously. Yeah, that's another story. My experiences, it was very like floaty. Like I was kind of like bilo type feeling.
Wait, say it again. You're bilo during what?
Just the flickering effect of what I felt could have been like gate passage when I was at the Gruol. So I kept visiting all the grid sites out there, and I was just really anchoring in, doing techniques every day, which I've always just gone there on vacation, so this was like just clocking into work stuff, you know, like really hardcore frequency work. I was doing Kathara 4, the Gruul chakra codes, which was extremely effective. Actually, with the Blue Lotus, even helped me connect with that while I was out there, the upper chakras, because you're actually integrating or like inducting the Gruul codes directly into your chakras. So I was using my Trua body to do that, but in the Kathara 4 tech, you're using the Ra's-Elaai body. But I didn't feel comfortable doing that yet, so I'm still working with plasma anatomy and kind of just mixed it together. But it was really effective.
Yeah, yeah. That's fascinating. Did you do any program when you were there?
Yeah, I feel like I do proga when I'm stretching. Like I do like intuitive stretching, and just when the meridians pop open, there's more connection to the plasma body, so it gets almost like euphoric, you know, like ethereal. It's kind of like just flushing out pipes or something. It's like it just really unclogs, and I'm breathing, and yeah, that's where I feel it, like physically. I haven't had as much experience like just sitting in a chair and projecting or doing proga that way. It's just more active, like while I'm stretching and breathing. What about you? You
Yeah, I
guys
feel that.
experience proga?
I think I feel like for me it's like there's some times where I do program and it's like I'm like really like like my awareness is like fully in my plasma body. But like that's not like that common. Maybe it's like 1 out of 10 times or something. Most of the time it's more like subtle. It's like I can feel it, you know, I can feel my arms moving around that my true body arms and walking around my room. Like subtle vision. But then there are like there's certain times where it's like I'm fully like in it, like my consciousness is not in my body anymore, my physical body.
Hmm.
But that's not like doesn't happen that often unless I do like proga like all the time. I've noticed like when there's a time where I was going to those healing pools like maybe like every morning for like a month or something, and then at some point it was like yeah, like I'm like actually like fully conscious of this and not in my body at all. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But it's not like at every. It's not like it'd be great to. I think if I do it enough, then I could have that on command. Like that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But it's
it
not
will.
like all the time, you know.
Mine's like kind of like what Marlon says too. It's really random. Dream time, I'll do like travel dreams. I think that's probably proga also. But
Yeah.
did you guys notice the Telegram chat? I don't know who was springing it up about the dreams lately, and parallel Earth, stuff like that, like really heavy
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
I brought that up. Yeah, I've been experiencing a lot of that. Yeah, for sure.
People been talking to me about it actually.
Yeah,
I
there's a
haven't
few
been going
people,
there recently, but
which I guess makes sense because I mean, if there's really high frequency, it's kind of pushing up um, stuff that maybe like close to home, like parallel shadow body work and stuff. Mine's been really vivid in parallel, like the last 2 nights, accompanied with just, I mean, I get in a state where I can tell it's not sleep, it's not diet, and you just rule it down. You check the whole list, and it's just frequency. It's like, okay, this is just raw frequency coming in, and that's where I'm at. So for me, it's been like, okay, there's still shadow work to do, and since the frequency's coming in, and I'm stretching and have the channels open, I'm probably more prone to going there and clearing some of the shadow work, which is parallel.
it's certainly gonna be very interesting to see how Parallel Earth transforms from
Yeah,
an apocalyptic wasteland into somewhere potentially viable to ascend.
it's just unreal to think
Yeah.
about. Can barely
Yeah,
comprehend
I
it.
wonder what our parallel selves are thinking right now, and they're like totally just fallen, or they're like rooting us on and hoping we
Yeah,
get help them.
there's a
You know what I mean?
variety.
Like,
conditions in parallel with the possession from the Nephilims, or are the Nephilims taken off and everyone's in rehab now, or what?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just remember in Think of Voyagers too, it talks about how Parallel is like taken over by I guess the Red Dragon groups and such. But
Zeta
that-
Red
that I
Dragon.
remember. Yeah, and like Draco and all that. Maybe things
Even-
have probably changed, but
Yeah.
Even places like Gaia and Tyra have pretty much taken over. At least when I went to Gaia, it was. It's like everybody's like chipped, and it's like a slave race. It's like humans are not even got consciousness anymore. They're pretty much kind of like zombies.
This is
Like,
Gaia?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't
do
know
you,
if
do
I
you have
have.
some intuition towards that or something?
It's taken over by freaking Dracos and Zetas.
Yeah.
Lewis, how are you able to tell like which density level you're at? I've never been able to do that. It's kind of vague. Like I assume Terra, but Gaia would have no idea how to tell that. It's just like a sense feel thing.
It's just a sense. That's all I can really say. It's just a sense. It's like
You working
the
with
reason I
that?
started doing Proga, and I guess the reason I really wanted to do Proga was because I knew I had parts of myself in Terra Gaia and along other places, so I wanted to try virtually go there and just kind of swipe my quantum and bring it back here. Now, obviously, with the failsafe host, we kind of learned that, well, there's going to be loads of different points of just kind of grabbing whatever we can and then just throwing it back in to the probabilities. But yeah,
That's interesting. Huh.
at least that's my understanding of it.
Yeah. I was just thinking like all like the whole like transhumanism type situation coming right now and all this like like all that stuff. Maybe that's like a reflection from Parallel Earth, like that's coming across. But it's possible that that's already happening, like hardcore and stuff, like
At the
cyborg
same
human.
time, though, because they did talk about what we're using the Ark of the Covenant gates, which pretty much means that we should be able to access an Stargate in a next life anyway. So, in theory, you could probably go back to Terra or Gaia. I don't know why you'd want to go back there, but
Yeah. I
it
do
might
like
just be easier to go down 369 and then out, but 312. But I have not got a clue.
part of me kind of questions if like because supposedly Terra fell, but like did it actually fall or like because now it's like why couldn't they just catch like this wave like before like maybe the fifth reclamation 5 RRs like couldn't they have caught it like before it fell maybe like with some time bending stuff and all that like I don't know. They
I
must
mean,
be
in theory, at the same
they
time,
must
though,
be-
it's like I think Terra fell, wasn't it, like 2007, 2008? Because
yeah
I think it got attacked or whatever, and then the higher cells fell, which caused a massive chain reaction. I remember it in some kind of workshop. I think we were talking about it on Katie's Live, actually.
yeah but yeah I just question if it because maybe it fell like then but I wonder if like now with what's happening if it's like able to do some just time mechanics and like catch the wave before it fell almost like yeah I'm not really sure.
I mean, we do have the happy bubbles, so, but I
Yeah.
mean, wouldn't that be for internal creation rather than external for four
Yeah,
densities?
yeah, that's true. I wonder, but yeah, but then yeah, it's strange. I don't know, but all
Then
this stuff
again,
that
though, there is free will at play. It's not like, for example, how do we not know that Red Dragons or whoever might not just be like, right, we don't want to do something right. We want to go back. We want to fall, but do it sovereignly.
yeah,
A bit later down, mind you, but you never know.
That's true. That's true.
Plus, how do we not know that? Because before the what was it called? Where they tried to save Terra, wasn't it like what was that Bridgestone project? How do we not know that Terra still isn't like in some kind of hibernation zone where Terra actually never fell, and it's in that just weird time loop?
Yeah,
'Cause in
honestly, I mean,
theory, it must still be there.
I'm not sure, but I just like it's just a feeling of like right now, but I feel like it's like in good hands, you know, like it's especially considering what we just listened to in that last session, you know, with like the experimente and like
Exactly.
the
A lot of implications.
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
If what we thought was Gonfall before is being reclaimed, and I don't think we can really fully comprehend what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way all these sparks from like way off, future points are being projected back, here, and I mean, I feel like there's no really limit to that, and how aspects of our higher self can bend time and change things. This quantum universe of infinite potential.
Yeah, there's not like a definite answer. It's like when
Right.
it supposedly fell in, was it 2007? Like that might have been a certain timeline where it fell. Like we were
Right.
in that time, but now things are like there's all this time bending happening and like it's totally changed. So like I just I'm hopeful. Definitely hopeful.
Yeah, me too.
You guys saw the trans-time wars part that she was talking about? Was that in Voyagers too? Trans-time?
Yeah,
the portal.
I believe most of that information was in Voyagers.
They talk about like Philadelphia experiment and everything else, but she doesn't use specific word, specific term, trans time war.
And the Fatali are time trackers too. She's used that term.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't there a type of music that they were using? Because I remember a couple of years ago an incident occurred where there was some kind of chaos techniques being presented over a certain type of music, and apparently that music was kind of linked into a future timeline involving Fatali, among other things.
Did you say music?
I don't really want to say the name. Yeah, some kind of music. It's by a certain individual, which I don't really want to name.
What music was it?
It's all just more drama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found that part really interesting where she was revisiting some of these events happening in, I think, 2021, 2022. And she's talking about the cloud worlds and the ocean worlds, and I was getting all of these flashbacks of all of these like Proga experiences I was having back then. Like seeing, like getting all these recalls of like dream work and this stuff like coming back to me, and I'm like, whoa, like I saw it all. Like I remember having these like really lucid experiences of like, I remember like almost getting scared for a moment because I didn't know where I was, and next thing I was in this ocean, and I was looking around, and there was just like these massive rainbow like sea dragons, and I was like, whoa, and I kind of like shook a little bit, and then I realized like I was safe and I was fine, and I'm in this like massive ocean with all these like massive sea dragons. Oh my god. I have no idea like where, when, what, like where in time space this event was. It was really profound. I had like another experience of, yeah, being kind of like in an ancient, like a city in the clouds, and it was just like all stone, and there was just like this pathway that led towards the edge of the city, and you can just see all the clouds below. And there's kind of like this giant like arm that was in the structure that was hanging off the side of the city like a cliff, and the clouds are below it. And it was almost like this giant like eyeball like stationed on the end of it, and it just like had this very all-seeing, multidimensional like eye energy that just like saw everything through space and time like simultaneously. It was really wild.
Yeah, wow, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Do you
it was
write
dragon.
this
like
stuff down usually?
what'd you say?
Do you write these down usually?
Certain dreams. I do keep a dream log, but only the ones that I really feel called to. But it's just too freaking much. I'd probably be sitting in my bedroom forever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's just like certain things that like stay with me when I kind of come back to my body that like I know I'm like, okay, I need to write this down. That's just kind of become my practice, you know. Certain things that stick with me, I'm like, okay, I'll write this down. But my recall has just like honestly just gotten better and better and better over the last 4 to 5 years. That I feel like it's just like kind of not even necessary. It just comes up and I can just like recall it very well, and like I could just like pull from it, and it's just like, oh yeah, there it is. And as I start talking about it, like I'm visually seeing it and like reliving it.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a real experience that's like recorded in your cells or something. Dreams, some
Right.
dreams.
Right. 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 Like I remember seeing like having one like seeing these maps. Like I was like viewing maps of a world, and there was just like countries, and like even like countries, and these land masses were named like Melchizedek, and I'm like, where and what timeline? When was that? I'm like,
Oh, wow.
what?
That's crazy.
Really wild. I'm like, I'm not sure if it was just seeing like potential future timelines, with everything that's unfolding with all the work that we're doing, but it's just like, whoa, profound.
I mean, as you go up in densities, it's like worlds, or at least areas which we never saw before, tend to open up. It's kind of one of the
Right.
ways you can kind of discover where you are in terms of densities and whatnot.
Mm. Mm.
I want to know more about those rainbow dragons.
Yo, me too. I want to know about more than those rainbow
Like,
dragons.
describe, go into it. What were they just
They
like
weren't
plastic?
really like. Yeah, they were just like they were. Okay. I'll try and like send it to you like visually.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
it's-
I'm gonna take myself back there for a moment. Let me sit.
maybe even an
So
image online. You could find. Wait, you could
yeah,
project it also, though. Yeah.
sure. Like my first view was I was overlooking this body of water, like almost as if I was like floating in the sky, looking down, and I saw them all in the water. As I was kind of like my consciousness was just floating above the water, this huge sea, and there was like a school of them. There was just like I don't know, it had to be like 100 of them, and they were really really long, multicolored, like rainbow, just like sea serpents, almost like sea serpents. And then next thing you know, like my next experience, I was in the water with them, and it startled me because I was just like, oh my god, like these things are huge. Like what? Like where am I? What am I? I'm not sure if it was just like I had tapped into one of the sea serpents themselves, and I was just like
Were-
blending consciousness and seeing through their perception.
I was gonna say, were you a
Um,
dragon? Like maybe you tuned
right,
into
maybe,
it. Right.
maybe, maybe, but then, but it didn't startle me enough for me to like completely shift and leave that space. And then I just kind of like breathed into it and allowed it, and then I continued having this experience as just like floating, you know, just kind of swimming through this sea. Um, but there wasn't any land masses or anything that looked. It felt very like otherworldly. Like, and I don't. At that time, I was not used to having experiences like that. So I was just like, "Whoa, that was really different and interesting," and it stuck with me for a long time.
So it sounds like eels or something, like big eels, but did they have wings or just the
No, I didn't.
characteristic?
They didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't see any wings. Like I said, it was more like this type of like a like sea serpent, like almost you ever seen like Pokemon, like a Gyarados type of thing? It's like that type of thing, like this big sea dragons, you know, but they weren't flying, they were swimming underwater. And they were like
Wow.
rainbow, like iridescent rainbow color, like all different colors, like reds and yellows and oranges and
Yeah, wow, that's really fascinating.
Yeah, that was a very fascinating experience.
Maybe they
I
were
remember
helping, like with the happy bubble activations, the rainbow.
Right. I just found like all that information really interesting because at the time, like I didn't have access to that information. I wasn't, but I was trying to take myself back there. I have to check my journals and see if they're dated, but I do feel like they were around those dates, like in 2001, in May, around then, in 2022, some of the other things that were going on. I remember like, yeah, like having very, very active, like out of this world type, like, yeah, like lucid experiences. I have to revisit. Really,
Yeah,
really.
Chris, what are your dreams like these days?
Oh man, it's been, well, yeah, like the phantom stuff a lot. That's been pretty prevalent. Um, yeah, whenever I'm like in phantom, it's just really, really deep clearing stuff is happening. So sometimes emotional, like what Lewis was talking about earlier, like some waves, sometimes they come up from the past and you cleared.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just so
When
much
you
healing. Yeah.
when you're in Phantom, are you suggesting you're on Parallel Earth or something, or like?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we should
Ocean?
stop calling it phantom now. It's not space dust.
Yeah, yeah. Are you having like full blown experience there, or is it more like you feel like the distortions are coming from there and affecting your dream space here?
Yeah, you're
It's like you'll
tapping
wake
in.
up.
What's up?
You'll literally wake up though. You'll literally wake up in Phantom. It's
Yeah,
fucking horrific.
sometimes, but mine is starting to change, Lewis. Like it's not. It's almost like I'm going through. You know that chart that shows the DNA, but it has like subfrequency bands where it shows overtones and undertones in Kathara 1.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'm seeing different levels of bandwidth or something because it's not like sometimes it's not as vivid and I'll just see like little bleed through stuff to engage with. And other times I'm there, just like Lewis said, like I'm walking around and I'm just like out there. So I don't know. It's kind of, I guess everything's kind of merging together right now in some ways.
Yeah, yeah. But what usually happens when you're there?
Well, the last one that was vivid, where I was actually there, I felt like I was interacting with Lewis and Ivan, and it actually set off this platform that we're doing here, because it was kind of it felt like we were working on a level there, and there was this bridge. Oh, me and Lewis have a whole story to this. There was a bridge with a washing machine on it that I saw, and all these, which was, you have to kind of like determine what your brain is translating as like symbology, and sometimes
Yeah.
because it wasn't a literal washing machine, right? But there was a lot of symbolism in it, where people were coming there and washing their clothes, and so they would pass through the washing machine, and on the other side, it'd be more cleaner. And I ran this by Lewis. And do you want to share, Lewis, about what your dream with the washing machine and the bridge?
Yeah. So really, probably about 3-4 years old. I was born in 1998, so it would have been like 2001, 2002. I constantly had these dreams where it was just kind of like just waking up in locations. And the thing is with Phantom is I've had multiple experiences with Phantom where sometimes it's black and white and other times it's in kind of not full color. It's very much
Yeah, the
like
color.
washed out water based colors. Yeah. But really a lot of my memories from Phantom were just it was all involving this bridge. And the weird thing about this bridge was it was like it's hard to explain just because one side of the bridge was absolutely decimated. It had broken cars, rubble, everything else, and we had loads of people lining up. but on the side where the washing machine was, it was absolutely immaculate. Absolute immaculate. And I've had multiple memories of just kind of walking back and forth, back and forth. But the thing is, though, anytime that I try to kind of, so if I see the washing machine on the other side and I decide to like walk back, it's kind of like I can't walk back, like I'm kind of stuck. So I can kind of walk through, but I can't walk back. If that kind of makes sense. That's what I've just started
Yeah.
putting together recently.
Mm. Interesting.
This was right
Yeah.
when I came back from the Gruel, and actually, we've been working on this project since December 8th to try to. It's kind of like an outreach project with people that are translating these teachings around the world. And I know quite a few translators that are doing it, so it felt like this alignment that was starting to happen. We were talking about this the other night too.
Yeah.
But it was like I was saying, I went to the Gruel kind of on business. Like I really made a formal request to the Guardians for this project for people to show up. And the first night I got back is when this happened. It was really unexpected. And I just saw this bridge. And I think it's very symbolic of the excerpt that Lewis found, like about phantom healing, what she was just talking about, all these different levels. Like there's a bridge being made. And how I interpreted it, it was like a DNA wash or something. Like their DNA is being repaired and there's a bridge where they can go on to do this, but very symbolic. It's not like a literal washing machine and clothes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think this the bridge symbology has anything to do with the Antakarana?
That's trying to go back to what that is. It's kind of like the Ankh shape, I think, the Antakarana. Can you explain?
The Antakarana
Yeah.
is known as the Rainbow Bridge. It was also talked about kind of like the intermediary above the Kundalini energy, like into beyond that, beyond the ninth dimension.
Oh wow, is that in KS somewhere, or what is trying to place that?
I think that was in Kathara 2, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, because
It
I
might have
remember
been-
the shape of it, and we would actually do like different, like raising up things that were linked to it. Or might be thinking of the Crux and
Right.
Zeta. It's very different, I think.
Right. Yeah. Now it's interesting that we all have, we're all getting these bridge experiences. I'm sure at many different levels. I had one like 6 months. How long ago was that now? I don't know in linear time, but maybe like 6 months ago, where I was just like looking once again. Like I have a lot of these like aerial sight, almost like I'm looking down, like over it, like if I was flying above it. And I'm looking straight down at this massive bridge so I can see the entire length of it. And it's just like packed with people, like in beings. Like it's just like you couldn't fit another being on this bridge trying to get across type of thing. It was like that energy.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Seems like a mass like transit, and it was like everyone was trying to get over it at once.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this. It's not a washing machine, but one time I had this program experience, and I was on medium earth at the healing pools, and then I was going through some turmoil in my own life, and I met there's some being in the pools with me, like someone else, and like we had a conversation. And he said something like I'm like, how do I heal myself? Or I don't know. I'm not sure to ask him specifically, but he just said something about how it's like a dirty rag. Like you're like a dirty rag in this healing pool, and it's like slowly like getting clean and like turning white. Something like that. It seems it's like kind of random, but that was like something that happened really vividly.
I just keep seeing like DNA scrub, DNA wash or something whenever I look at it, like washing machines, and in this location also. And clothes
Right.
also being anatomy, right? Like, because they were washing their clothes. And
Right. All right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that guy was kind of referring to that I met, like something about like I'm like a rag getting cleaned or something, like it's dirty and like has oil and it's all screwed up looking, but the healing pools will like purify it.
Right. Wonder if that was a guide or something. Somebody just joined you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just went there and I was just hanging out with someone in the pool and we had like a conversation.
Just
I
chilling.
wish sometimes I have these experiences and I'm like, I wish I remember like what we like specifically talk about because I know we talked about some detailed stuff, but I only remember like the general experience.
I just thought of something with the art gates. Would you even be able to go for an art gate? Because I know the base level is supposed to be 3 strands of DNA, but the thing is with our strands of DNA is, at least the substrands, some of them are activated, some are in reverse, and everything else. It doesn't seem like we'd even be able to go for an art gate. Well, not currently, at least. So how's that going to work? How would you expect people to just randomly start realigning the file letters in this life? Because originally it used to take like thousands of years or maybe thousands of lifetimes just to align one strand of it, one full strand. Never mind. But yeah,
Well, something
how's
that
that
really,
gonna work?
something that stood out to me, she said in one of the workshops, was that the plasma teachings on this level of ascension have never been on this planet before. They've never been taught. So it was something that was kind of
Right.
seeded here specifically for this time for failsafe. So all of this is unprecedented. We're just like kind of learning our capabilities as we go. So Erica is
Right.
really inspiring. You know, the way she talks, it's like there's part of her I can feel that's already done it and already connected. And I think the more
Sure.
people that make those bridges, the faster it's probably going to go, you know, as the themes start to wake up. And like I was saying earlier, I have a theory that even the sleeper themes are wanting to wake up right now, from what I'm seeing in some of the consultations and conversations.
Yeah, I bet.
It's like they're eager, you know, they can feel it. They can just feel it all happening and how quickly it's wanting to happen, you know, because you imagine we just went through all the history lessons here. She just did. That's a lot of history. So there's a lot of anticipation for this to, let's just get this done already. Like we've waited this long. We've gone through all of this. Like, let's wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been feeling. That kind of spirit.
Right.
You guys have
Yeah. Well,
you guys been having astral experiences recently?
Yes, a lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
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 A lot. A whole lot. A lot of.
Is it enjoyable or is it usually disharmonic?
It's honestly, it's been. I feel like I went through a few months span that were very enjoyable and really really nice, and just lately it's kind of gotten I guess polarized if you want to call it that. There's just been a little bit of both. Like I mean, yeah, last night I was having like really on multiple occasions like I kept going back into these spaces, and there was just like multiple occasions where I felt like I was just like being set up in the astral plane and being led into these spaces with this energy or these beings that were just trying to like kill me.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you astral project? Because I've kind of been wondering this a lot lately because I kind of run an astral projection group,
Mm,
and I've always felt, well, since I've learned about shadow body and everything else, and how the shadow body has pretty much kind of overrided the astral body, so you kind of just you're projecting your shadow, and then someone grabs it and then brings it up a phantom or whatnot. So I kind of been really interested in figuring out, in terms of when people astral project, are they actually in the astral or are they being taken into phantom?
Can you say
Because I
that
don't,
one more
because with it,
time?
so pretty much. So you know the shadow body.
Mm-hmm.
There's currently a distortion where it pretty much overrides the astral body, for example.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So instead of projecting the astral body, it's going to override it, and then it goes out from the back of you. And normally there's entities that will take your astral body and it will take it over to Phantom.
Mm.
Now, because I used to teach people a lot about astral projection and everything else because I'm really good at it. But
Mhm.
I can't, with a good heart, knowing this information, I can't really be like teaching people about it without feeling really guilty.
Right.
Especially
Yeah.
when people are not going to really understand the situation we're kind of in terms
Right.
of that level of our anatomy. So I've just kind of been wondering for the people that have been astral projecting if they are being flung into Phantom or if they're using their actual astral body.
Yeah, I think it's for myself, I could recall different experiences of organic and others that I'm like at like this, this weird locations of like this harmonic beings like attacking me and stuff. So
Right. I mean, as far as I can tell, like when I even when I have these types of, whatever you want to call them, just like distorted or discordant energy experiences, as I do like come back to my body, I'm already on subtle levels feeling, you know, the pulsing of the energetic, of the energy center within my being, like going off before I even come back to it. And that it's every time has been stations like within the fourth heart chakra, which is the astral mind. I don't necessarily think that's you know tied into the shadow body that you were talking about, but that's a very interesting concept.
yeah, there's definitely like an interface between the two. I
Right?
can totally agree. Like I've had good experiences. Like, I mean, I have a lot of experience in my astral body, but I try not to do it anymore. It's just kind of distracting, to be fair. But I've had experiences where I would consider it more like that I'm maneuvering I mean, the astral body is your like D4 body, right? But like that, consider it more of my soul body because like there are times where I'm
Right.
oh, let me phase into like D6 and like phase into D5 and like things change and I'm like working with my like bivecti Merkaba and I like really see it and feel it in my astral body and stuff. So like that seems harmonic to me, right? But then other times it's just like wow, like there's been so many like attacks I've had in the astral plane and like weird encounters that it's just like it's like interesting to experience. It's also can get kind of annoying to be fair. Like
Sure.
I had this experience like a week or two ago. It wasn't really a negative one, but I was thinking of not sharing it, but I kind of thought it was interesting. Like I had this dream where like it was just like I didn't sleep well the night before. I went to this show and stuff and I was just sleep deprived and I wasn't doing plasma tech, which is usually, if I don't do it for like a few days straight, I'm not sleeping right. It's gonna probably cause problems like astrally. But I had this
Mhm.
experience like I had this dream and um people were like they were trying to tell me that like the chevron failed or something and like that like the cathedral 4 was like reversing it's totally not real, like don't take that as
Right.
just manipulation. And then I woke up in my astral body, right, and I was like looking out of my body, but when you wake up and you're like looking out of your body but you're still asleep or you're
Right.
physical asleep, and
Mhm.
this like book appeared like floating above me and it looked pretty interesting. I was like, oh, this is cool, let me look through it. And it was talking about like earth history, like this and that, and it seemed like KS related. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like it was talking about Atlantis and different stuff and like mechanics and stuff, right? But then it started praising Hermes, and it was like, Hermes is great and all this. And I was like, wait a second, like, what is this? And I like kept reading it over like that like sentence over and over again. I'm like, okay, like obviously, like
It's toast.
this is some like distortion coming in. Yeah, okay. And then I was like, and I've had experiences with Thoth in the past. And then like this voice came in and it was like saying it was Thoth and like he was trying to like sell me on like Metatronic mechanics and like like saying that like the Christopher failsafe has failed. It was obviously like a ploy, like it wasn't real, but or it was real, but you know, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
take it seriously. And
Yeah.
then I was like,
Uh,
okay, now, and then I woke up, and then yeah,
I've had quite a
Interesting.
few of those where
Mm.
they're just like obvious puppets, like puppet shows or something. Or it's just so fake.
Yeah, like astral puppets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marionettes.
Have you had
Yeah.
like Thoth puppeteering in the astral plane for any of you guys, or
No,
I've had Archangel Michael puppeteering in the astral plane a lot of times.
oh, that happened to
Lot
me
of
once. Yeah,
A
that's
lot of times. He like him and his
Yeah.
posse tried to like throw me in a van or something and take me somewhere, and I was like, no. I was lucid enough to at least like, get into my consent and be like, absolutely not. Like I did not consent to this. and
yeah.
just kind of phased out of there. But like, yo, it was like total setup energy.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about Thoth and all that, because I remember like Voyagers too, it talks about like how his collective is all about this whole like indigo hijack situation. And I remember when I first woke up, like it was in like 2016, and this is like I discovered KS like later on that year, but maybe in the beginning of that year, I was having a lot of like astral stuff, and like I was becoming aware of like Metatronic type stuff, and not like the Christian lens. But then I'm pretty sure like those kept like showing up in the astral plane and was like trying to like hijack me, and then in retrospect, like I realized that later on, but I know it was him. I definitely have some
Oh,
like tie to him or something from the Atlantean times.
yeah. And yeah, well, I'm sure, many of us, we all probably have a connection to those timelines and those memories, somewhere
Yeah,
within us.
I've,
I've
I've
met
well,
so many beings. I literally had a really kind of profound experience, like maybe like a month ago, not even a month ago on the beach. I'm just like walking around and I had my poi. I'm just getting in a flow, just doing a meditation. I'm walking down the beach and I saw this brother walking towards me, and yeah, just like spirit, just like directed me just to him. I mean, just said hello to him, and he's just like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like really well. He's just like he like complimented me for something, and then and I was just like, "What's your name, brother?" And he's just like, "Oh, Enoch." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, nice to see you. I'm familiar with your spirit," type of thing. And I went
yeah,
on my way. I wished him peace, and I went on my way. And then I took a 20-minute walk, and then walked all the way back, and then and then again crossed paths with him the second time. Like I'm like, all right, something's up here. I'm like, this seems like, although I don't know, I didn't feel like I was resisting it, but I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go on my way. And then like it kind of just felt like a divine appointment energy. So I just leaned into it, and I was just like, I was like, hey, I think we're meant to talk or something. So would you like to just sit and chat for a while? And he said, yeah. And we wound up having like a really big exchange. And I can tell that he was definitely tapped into, Metatronic stuff. Um, However, I, just felt like it was my place to share as transparently and as neutrally like what my truth is, and listen and be willing to like sit there and, unconditionally like listen and understand and just try and like help this brother along, even though there's like kind of these underlying energies and stories that like want to say like, this is oppositional, or this is like, something that can be harmful, or yada yada yada. I just like totally just leaned into it and just sat with it and just like kept my heart open and just exchanged with this brother, and just told him, what I'm into, and shared my perspectives on things, and yeah, he shared a lot of things with me too. But I can tell he was still kind of really tapped into, angels and working with external entities and things like that.
yeah. That's really interesting. I have like I feel like I have a karmic tie to Enoch also, but in a good light. Like I think he's trying his best.
Right.
I
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember like
Yeah.
reading Voyagers too. Like I like some of the history sections, like they would stand out a lot, like viscerally, like emotionally, because probably some, or I'm sure like past life related. but that one where it talks about him, like how he invaded Saqqara, Egypt, and like I guess it was Amenhotep was like the Magi Indigo pharaoh there, and he had a group of like Magi and like Indigos and stuff with him. But like Dozier or Enoch, like he actually was like, kept us like secret and like protected us, which is like I feel like that's pretty amazing. I have like a pretty strong not like reverence, but like respect for him. I'm pretty sure I was in part of that situation. It has like a strong, like really strong emotional effect on me, like thinking about that.
Yeah, I
But
mean, when you just said it, I felt kind of like chills and shivers running up and down my arms.
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
I could feel it.
Yeah.
Like you took us on a time travel or something, right?
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, totally.
That's crazy. It's getting like more, like we're kind of projecting while we're talking and having reactions too. It's really cool. This platform,
Yeah.
I just want to thank you guys for co-creating this. It's amazing. This is like our 9th call that we've done, and it's solid. We haven't had any major interruptions or anything like that. And Lewis is getting me out of my PTSD with this stuff and trusting and just starting to have trust in the community that people will show up, and they have. It's just amazing.
Yeah, totally.
We're all doing it.
Yeah, I feel the same. Just super grateful to be tapped in with you guys, and just we're all on similar frequency. And I guess where I've been in my experience is I've been around just such amazing people. I'm always blessed and I'm always grateful. And I kind of feel like, as far as like the codes that I know that I'm where I am for a reason to share, but I don't necessarily have a Christic community around here where I can
Right.
really just speak on so many subjects in my own comfortable language, if you will, and way,
Yes.
and just be able to exchange energy in a very, very fluent way. So I'm so grateful to be tapped in with you guys, and to be amongst the presence, and it's really wonderful to unpack things with you.
I love the versatility of it also, that we can just do a stream on a workshop and study together and discuss and everything. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I love the parameters of it, Like sometimes we'll just talk, other times because this was a co-creation from you, Sean, but also Steve. He was like, what techniques should we do in preparation for the 8th, which is the big activations coming in. And it's just like, let's do it. Let's go revisit it. I'm due for a revisit on the techniques too. Like get caught up.
Sure. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of those techniques in a long time.
Right. Had you seen all of this that we just streamed this evening? Had you seen it?
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah, I did. Other than the last piece when she was going over all of like the calendar dates and the stuff that she was revisiting, that I don't think I've seen.
Yeah. It's a lot of reflection there, just on the whole journey, this whole mission thing.
Oh yeah, I started to honestly feel myself like fading almost like into like a theta state. Like like I was in a teeter-totter state trying to like integrate everything that she was saying. I was like, whoa.
It's like by the campfire listening to E-LAi-sa share stories.
Yeah. For real. Oh man. Oh man. Oh yeah, before I when she was saying something about the silent sound master councils or something like that, right before, about 5 minutes before she brought that up, I was like thinking about this song. I just kept thinking about it, like the song. I was like, oh man, I was like feeling into if I should share it with you guys or not. Would you guys like to hear a song?
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you're still working on our intro song, right? Like for the live stream?
Yeah, I wanna do that for us. I just wanted to get a chance to get some more information from you before we get started, as far as like the type of vibe you want to go for, and like the length, how long exactly you want it to be, and that's pretty much it. And from there, I'll pump that out real quick.
Yeah, maybe we can all just like listen and pitch in on ideas and stuff with that too. Oh, do you have a
Sure.
bowl? Is it like one of those singing bowls that you're playing?
Do I have singing? Oh yeah, I do.
That's what it sounded like
Yeah.
when you started playing.
I have multiple singing bowls that I work at. I use Tibetan bowls, but most of the music I've been doing lately has just been a mixture of acoustic instruments and on the DAW, on the digital audio workspace, and working with lots of. I just use synthesizers to generate, very specific tones at different brainwave states. And I've just been exploring a lot of that work. But this is the song that kind of came to my mind. It's a song that came through, I don't even know, a little more than a year ago, but it's called Solas, which is light in Gaelic.
It's kind of, I don't know if it started yet. It's fading in and out or something.
You know what? It might be. There might be like a. I think there's like a. This app uses a speaker sensitivity thing to a voice, so maybe that's what it is. It's not picking up on. It might not be loud enough.
Okay.
Let me try something. If I plug this in, it might show up a little better.
Oh, it's cutting in and out pretty bad. Just hear like beeps kind of.
Can you hear this?
Wait, share your
You hear that?
screen, and it should be able to come through.
Share screen.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll default to the microphone or something.
What do you
Are you-
recommend to do? Share screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're on an iPhone, are you on an iPhone? That might be part of it.
Yeah, I'm on an iPhone.
Maybe you could play. Do you have like a speaker that you could connect your phone to and then play it, and then that might work. Oh yeah, let's see if this works.
Yeah, let's try this real fast.
I didn't even know you could screen share on an iPhone. It's cool.
Can you hear this?
Oh, it's still cutting out.
Oh.
Still cutting out? Maybe it's not meant to be.
Okay, and
Oh, I want to hear it.
I know. I really want to share it with you.
Can you play it from like an external speaker, maybe, or something? I don't know.
Yeah, on your computer.
I feel like it's going to do the same thing, though, as if I'm just like, it's just going to be the music sound coming in if it's breaking up, I don't know I think it has something to do with the way like this app like picks up the voice. Probably like something called like a gate. Like when it picks up the voice, it starts to broadcast the volume, but if it goes below a threshold,
Yeah,
it cuts
a
off. It's called
suppressor or something.
a volume gate. Yeah, it's called a gate.
Do you
Or is
have? Can you send it to me? Maybe I can just like play it on the video player or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's
I
do
can
that. Yeah.
So I got a 3% battery life as well.
What's
send it
that?
to you on.
Oh, Sean's got like a 3% battery life.
Oh,
Look at you. That's right. I'm sharing the screen. Yeah, I can plug it in. Let me just send this to him real fast.
Wait, it's only us two now. Us three.
yeah, it just dropped off. Looks like. Maybe his phone was his phone at 3%, or was that Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it died. Huh.
So he was opening another app. Maybe it just shut off.
Yeah.
Oh, he did send you that message there, didn't he? Did it come
checking.
through?
Yeah, I'm checking to see.
Lewis, have you ever tried to in your astral body, have you ever tried to with your astral hands like probe them into your physical body? It's kind of strange, but that's something I've done. It's a really weird sensation.
Say that
tricky.
again.
Like, so with your astral hands, have you ever been like, oh, I'm gonna like put my astral fingers into my brain, or
Or like
into my
massage your
organs?
brain.
I would never
Yeah,
try.
Sounds like
Yeah,
psychic
just think-
surgery.
it's really weird. It feels really strange.
How do you do that without not getting like dragged back in? So it always kind of seems like my silver card's always like either pulling me back. It's just some kind of constant sensation. So if I go near my body, I'll either get dragged back in or something else.
Interesting. Yeah. Usually for me, I'm like in my body. It's like I'm like there's a second astral body that's coming out of my body. I could like move my limbs around, and then it's like if I want to get out of my body, I can. But usually I
Second
don't.
astral.
Yeah, usually I don't
I
want
might
to.
have
But
a bit of shadow, like the overriding. That's weird.
yeah, it is weird. Yeah.
So how did you learn to navigate in your astral body then? Because when I started doing it again about age 15, it was like I was a baby. I had to kind of learn how to walk and everything else. Because at the time I got out my body, I'd kind of fall through the floorboards and everything else.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like for me, I guess similar stuff. I guess it just started happening a lot. It's like usually I'd be like in my body, and then from there I could get out if I wanted to. Then I would walk around my house, or if I wanted to fly outside my house, I could, or go to the astral planes, like stuff like that.
I'll just share for me, it was Windows that helped me a lot because the symbology, I guess, in that realm helps me to pass through it more fluidly. I mean, at first, man, I'm having like flash memories of it now. At first, it was kind of like mushy feeling or something, like passing through. I put my hand through it. I must have gone through like years of my own training and adjusting to it because I remember flipping around on the ceiling and being wobbly and then just finally getting fluid with it.
Yeah, some things I was thinking about recently are like, because one time, or I remember this time I got out of it, and there's where I was sleeping on this couch, and there's like a table, like a wooden table, and I got in my astral body, and I was like hitting the table, and it was like making a noise, like I was hitting a table, and I was like wondering if other people could hear it, but I don't know. Kind
Oh
of,
man. Yeah, that's funny. You're talking about being in your astral body, and what are you saying? You were like hitting the wall or flopping around or something?
yeah. There's like a wooden table in front of me, and I was like hitting my fist into it, my astral fist, but I was like hearing it like I was hitting a wooden table, and I was wondering like could other people hear this happening, like who are
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah. I think I did
That's
some of that
interesting.
too.
yeah huh. To try it out.
Yeah.
The biggest
Okay.
memory I have astral traveling was actually, and I don't know how this was arranged because my dad wasn't spiritual at all, but it was like one night that was kind of set up for me to meet with them, and I was kind of like teaching him how to fly. Like I took his hand and we just flew over the whole town and over the church and everywhere in the woods. That was like a
That's
really,
so cool.
really vivid experience. Not something I could really
That's
talk to him
awesome.
about, because he was really into the Bible and Christian and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
Right.
He probably thought it was a normal dream or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he had any idea what I was doing. It got so vivid for me that I was literally like getting the ladder on the roof and jumping off the roof and stuff. Like I was really thinking I could fly at a young age.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sunk in.
Mm. Mm.
Really does heal your inner child.
True.
It's good memories. Yeah.
Except when some like drac show up and try to like harass you. But I'm just joking. Speaking from experience.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna try one more time, guys. I got my phone on the charger now. That actually might have something to do with it. It might just mean my phone was gonna die, that the sound was doing weird things.
Okay.
I'm just gonna play a couple little things, see if you can hear it clearly. Hear that?
What if we put all ourselves on mute?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, yeah, try that. Can you just
I heard like a few. It sounded like a guitar, like a few plucks of guitar.
It's really light.
right? But it was clear. It wasn't cutting out.
I think it was, but like I could hear like a little bit of it,
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll try to play it for a little bit for you guys, and if not, I can always send it to you, directly so you guys can listen.
Send
Yeah,
it
that's
send it
great.
on Telegram if you can. I'll try to play it.
Right. I'll do that.
Okay. Can you send it now?
Yeah.
Okay. I can play the one that you sent last time. Let me see if it comes through on here. Do you mind if I play the one that you sent a couple of days ago?
Oh yeah, you can play that one.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's a beautiful piece. The one I sent you called Frequency. Yeah.
Can you guys hear it?
Nah.
It's not playing?
Nah.
Okay. Let me download it and just stream it on here. Let's see.
So where have you guys gone with your astral project? Because normally when I astral project, I kind of end up around like beautiful valleys and things. It's like my most recent astral projection was literally just I was in this school, and it was weird because like how you have the Grand Canyon, and it's like all open, and it goes down really deep. It's kind of like that, but it was going for like miles and miles and miles, like it was a massive valley. And all along the valley, there was just this giant hole, like a Grand Canyon, but it had like hundreds of just waterfalls, so it was all just water all going down. And then you had about 50 or 60 like tiny islands with like trees and everything else on them. They were just like tiny floating islands that you could just kind of jump on them. And then there's loads and loads of people in the air. I don't even know what they were specifically, but you could just I remember flying in formation with them. And then I don't know what it was. Some kind of entity just tried to like attack me. So it's just kind of like I remember just kind of flying all around these islands,
Huh.
just trying to get it away from. But eventually, it just kind of went away, and then I kind of just went back in formation again, just kind of flying with these people just towards the sunset. It's quite a nice experience.
It sounds so random, like kind of put together type place or something. Almost like constructed.
So, please.
It sounds like you're in the astral planes, like
Yeah.
For
Random.
me, I'm like, usually for me, it's like I mean, to be fair, usually when I go in my astral body, it's just like in my room, and I like don't want to leave my house. Like I'll just walk around my house or fly around it. But like there are times where I've like gone the astral planes and stuff. But usually I'm try to like stay local. You know what I mean? Like I had this one experience when I was pretty young, and it was almost like it got like there's like these winds that like sucked me into space, and I was like getting far away from Earth, and it was like getting really small, and then I started freaking out. I was like, what is happening? And like I guess I tried to shoot myself back. I think I did. But yeah, usually I like to stay around my house and like fool around with my like soul anatomy and stuff,
Hmm.
I never really liked projecting at my old house because I always used to have this nightmare as a child where I would kind of wake up, I'd look outside, and then there'd kind of be this scary being just kind of putting it washing. And then it'd kind of just look at me and just kind of wave. And then the dream always kind of ended as it, so it'd kind of run into my room and then tickle me and everything else. And then I'd kind of wake up. But as I kept having this dream more and more, I kind of just thought of like crafty ways to kind of get out of the house.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hey, I've got the
Yeah,
song queued up on the stream. If you guys want to check it out, I'll play it. You just need to go to the stream on perspectives.
Uh,
Where is it?
just
Perspective.
Oh, it is. Here we go.
Oh, you got to mute, Lewis. I think you're muted.
Wait, Sean, can you send me it? I can share the audio from a PC. See Telegram.
Where would you like me to send it to you, brother? On
Just Telegram.
Telegram? Cool.
Yeah. Well, Telegram sharing. There we go.
It's a really nice plugin. It's like some past life vibe. It's another time. Yeah, it's not coming out, Lewis. It's just beeping, kind of.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, I tried doing that too. I just had to stream it on here.
Yeah, it sounds it sounds super muffled. Oh man.
You can at least hear it on the stream though, on Facebook. It's coming through clear.
Alright. Fuck, let's have 6. I'm not gonna be work at 1. Right, I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks for a nice chat, guys.
All right, good night.
Yeah,
Same as Barry, where you are.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Thanks for hanging with us. Good night.
Thank you, Lewis. Peace, brother.
Yeah, I guess I'll head out too. It's getting late. This is like a 10-hour stream almost. Jeez, 9 or 10 hours.
Shit.
Oh, really? Wow. It can't be that long. Or maybe like 8. That's still a lot.
8,
then.
yeah, 8. We started late. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll talk soon. Talk soon. Wait.
Yeah, it's good outro
Yeah.
music. I'm just like playing this music for the outro here.
Perfect. Yeah, I love that. I'm glad it's coming through on the Facebook. I'm gonna when I sign off here, I'm gonna jump on there and listen along with you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thanks for the co-creation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you
a lot
all.
of
Much
fun.
love.
Good
Peace.
night.
Yeah. See you guys.